Everybody is here. Adrian will be here if he chooses to be, evidently.
Sometimes. Well, wait, I thought he wasn't showing up on Fridays or something.
I did. Sometimes he does. Sometimes he doesn't.
I thought he also said the D&D thing didn't happen. Like, people were like, it's just a whole saga with Adrian and what he's doing.
What isn't a saga with Adrian, to be quite frank? But anyway, I'm gonna ask you guys to head over to the Twitch real quick. In fact, I'm gonna do that because I forgot to do it.
Twitch? Oh, wait, hold on. I just got a Rage Shadow Legends thing. Hold on.
What am I gonna get?
You let me know.
Basketball. I see Lamella Ball.
That's something that I've known about Grant for a long time. His love of basketball.
Question mark?
That's it. You got me.
Bro, I love basketball. Great.
While I'm waiting for you guys to go in,
that's why one of my all-time favorite sports animes is Kurokoto Basket.
Oh,
my nephew and I were playing Kirby.
Nice.
It was great.
Okay, I'm here.
All right, everybody here?
As well.
So
yeah.
I just started. Today was my first. Well, the second half of today was my first day working from home. Part of that was that in order to make sure that people are actually paying attention during like the training sessions and at their desk, they require us to have a face cam.
Oh my god. Oh,
wow.
Zach Cam.
Hello, it's Zach Cam.
Zach Cam.
I'm not super sure where I want this just quite yet, because obviously I'm going to be looking at the screen, which is here.
Replace the gameplay. gameplay. Just put
with me.
Move yourself.
Just put me real big.
Yeah.
I would at least swap it so that like when you're looking, because I can tell when you're like turning your head, you're looking to the.
I'm looking at my second monitor at like me and chat and you guys. So if I wanted to, I could put it here instead. Right? In that case, I'll be like.
Or you could have just flipped it. Either way works. But
what do you mean? Oh, you mean like physically flip the, or you mean like flip the render so that way it looks like I'm looking towards the inside.
Yeah. So like
okay,
you could, I think where you had your camera first was fine, and yeah, all you need to do is you just need to flip the thing. Yeah. There you go.
It bothers me that there's like a couple second delay of what you're saying versus the stream, like because I hear you over Discord, and so you'll just be lip flapping and
like,
yeah,
you laugh and then I have to look down 1 second and then he laughs.
And then he laughs.
That's cool.
No, what is he saying?
So there you go. I'm gonna be experimenting with this weekend. Not that I really expect anybody to be here on stream. Not referring to you guys. I mean like
show
viewers.
Up this exact moment.
Well, maybe. But I'm gonna experiment with this to see if I enjoy having a face cam. If I do, Dad said he can get me a like fancy HD.
Is the thing smaller?
What the fuck?
Oh, never mind. Nope,
We
we're
just
back. We're fine. Dude, it's what?
QWERTY textured
It's text smash.
The OG.
That's pretty OG.
Is that a real person? I can't tell.
I don't know.
What the hell?
What the fuck?
It's very.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, I don't know if that's particularly.
That's a really weird thing to just randomly come into a stream and say, my friend.
Yeah.
I am going to. Do I have the ability to? I can. Well, there you go.
Oh, there you go.
Deleted.
I mean, the message was acknowledged, but yeah, that's a bit.
That's a weird thing to.
Serious
that's a weird thing
to come in here and like chat about.
Sorry, friend. If you want to hang out and enjoy Pikmin, feel free. But otherwise, that's a really intense topic that I don't want to talk about after an 8-hour workday. So,
Yeah.
all right, moving on. So, as per Jesse's recommendation, we're going to be doing the prologue and epilogue. Apparently, I only ever did one of them.
Grant, isn't this crazy that stream is gonna actually see more of Zach than we will?
That's true. Zach, it's been so long.
Yeah, dude, Zach, you look way different than I in my memories. Man.
I'm fat, I know. Thanks.
No, I mean you had like way more facial hair. I mean, there's also that.
Didn't
but,
you have like bright
hair,
pink hair and you were like 12 feet tall?
Dang.
Yeah.
That's what I
miss
remember.
that face.
The thing that I miss the most is my giant knockers, really.
Honestly,
to be quite
shame.
frank.
I'm gonna say it. Quarantine nerfed you a bit. I'm sorry to say.
That's what happens, you know.
Yeah. It's your post-quarantine time skip outfit.
It's funny because it's like you're catching me like right after a shower, so my hair is not all poofy. So right now, I don't know. It doesn't look that long on the camera, but I think if I like turn, you can see the
like
true length of my hair.
Your time.
Wow.
Oh my god! Holy
really long.
cow! Good lord.
Okay.
Man. Just to update you guys, because I think I told Lawrence, I got the 2 monitors that I requested from work. So I am now sprouting dual monitor setup.
Let's go.
I have yet to acquire the computer part, but I'm looking into that still. I figure, and I was talking with Lawrence about this because he was like, well, what do you, because it's like I had a long monitor to begin with, like long, like long cat long, except horizontal. Yeah. But I was like thinking about it, and I think Zach can even attest to this, is that I think dual monitor, at least for streaming purposes, is probably better to have, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Probably,
like there's no question. I think dual monitor is better to have, period. Really. There's really no scenario in which not having dual monitors is better, I think.
Yeah, because it's
you have the gamer streamer webcam.
Bro, I'm gonna ask for that.
I do.
From work again, because also if I want to have meetings, I need a webcam, so they're kind of semi-obliged.
There you go.
To give me one, because I'm like, yeah, I would like to work on the computer versus the laptop sometimes, because it feels like, oh, if I forget to plug in my laptop when I go to bed, I'll just wake up and it'll be dead.
Oh no.
And I'm like, yikes, that's not fun. But just so I'm, I guess, technologically correct in my understanding about why dual monitors are better for streaming, just so because I'm learning here. So games in particular, right, they tend to want to take up the screen you're using, or even normally, right, it would be best to full screen a game when streaming, and it's just easier. So one monitor is dedicated to the game while the other monitor is dedicated to the streaming stuff. Am I correct?
Yeah, so you don't have to alt tab.
I would say just that in general. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just I'm trying to see what I know, right? I'm trying to, I have my notebook in front of me with it's like a class.
The notes. Streaming 101.
So yeah, that should be. I'm gonna see how far I get. I'm talking to my friend. He's looking at stuff for me. I'm telling you, this whole PC thing's like a cult. He's been asking me for years to join the PC cult, and I'm like, finally, I'm at this point. I'm like, okay, if you want me to join, you're taking a brunt of the work that I have to do for this, because he has been asking me for I think years now, and I've just been like, I'm okay with my laptop, but I've reached the point where it's it's a bit too hard with just my laptop.
Join the dark side.
Join the dark side. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yo, the golden fruit from Pac-Man World 2.
What?
You ever played Pac-Man World 2?
No. What's
It's
Pac-Man
fantastic,
World?
but-
Is that the 3D one? The weird 3D one?
Yeah.
Oh.
In Pac-Man World 2, the
What happened to the rest of the
MacGuffin
Pikmin?
is the
Oh,
golden
what
fruit.
the frick?
Yo, they found yo shit.
They found it. They found
They
the
found the
second
fruit.
thing and it had some fruit.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm about to say I don't recall ever playing any of the 3D Pac-Man games. I know that they exist. I didn't realize
there's
they were
only
called
one good
Pac-Man
one.
World though.
Yeah, there's only one good one, and it's Pac-Man World 2. Pac-Man World 1 is
Pac-Man World
more
as
of a
well.
Pac-Man World is it's just kind of a lackluster PS1 platformer. Pac-Man World 3 is a very bad beat 'em up platformer.
Beat 'em up platformer.
Yes. It's not good. And then Pac-Man World 2 is a good game.
Cool.
Man, maybe one day I can show you guys, I think, the Shrek 2 game from a long time ago. I can play it on my computer.
You
The
keep,
Shrek 2
you
game?
keep talking
Bro,
about this
yeah.
fucking Shrek 2 game. This is like
It was
this is like
so
the
good.
11th time you talked about it.
I'm
She
like,
won't
bro,
shut the
I don't
fuck
even know
up
if you
about
guys...
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man and Shrek.
Anywho, I like Pikmin, but every single time we come back into this game, I'm just horrified at the fact that we are literally killing everything in sight.
Everything here is a
Yeah.
fruit, man. It's fine.
Uh-huh.
It deserves to die.
That's what I've been saying for years. That's my new thing, saying that I've been saying things for years. How do you like it? You like the bit?
It's pretty good. I like it. I like the commitment.
What the fuck? When did this bridge come here?
That's been there.
Oh.
See, now we're killing everything in sight.
It's a Craigslist ad. Get him.
Oh,
This was
fuck. Mikey
requested, we've
did
been
show
paid.
up.
Oh man! Holy shit!
No! Now Mikey knows what I look
God.
like.
It's yeah.
There you go, Mikey. That is Zach.
That's
You've
me.
literally seen more of him than we've seen of him in, like, the past, like,
Yes.
years.
In decades.
Yeah, I'm experimenting with the face cam for a little bit. We'll see if I like it. If I don't, I can always just get rid of it.
No, it was just funny because Mikey, because I think he turned the thing on and like I think he said something and I'm like, what? He's like, no one's even. Oh no, what he was saying is that no one's really even here anyway, and I'm just like, haha, watch Mikey appear like right now.
Your anonymity is
My
forever
anonymity,
gone.
no. It's what my entire brand is built on. Anonymity.
You have a brand?
That's how
No,
you
no,
do
sorry,
it.
it's animosity. I got it wrong.
Oh,
Sure.
fair.
All right, pick up some of this gold.
Rock.
Man, okay.
I thought Obo was gonna get a PNG tuber before getting a face cam. Well,
This
they
is a
don't give you a
PNG
face
tuber,
cam at the
actually.
Red Cross, or they don't give you a PNG tuber at the Red Cross, so I can't really just.
That'd be sick if they did, though.
That would be
I,
beyond insane.
I will say for Zach, it would have been great to either he get like a VTuber model that looked exactly like, once again, the Pokemon. Professor Mirror was his name, I think.
Oh,
I was like,
yeah.
one. That would have been perfect. Or two, I need a V animal of a Greedent.
VTuber Greedent.
Why'd you call it a V animal? Is that actual terminology? Why do you
I have
know
no
that,
clue.
Saba?
I have no clue.
Well,
I tried what I thought sounded right.
Uh-huh. Oh, well, you literally have an artist
Cool.
in the stream crew. There's PNG tuber source. I mean, sure, but it's really hard to just ask a friend, be like, hey, can you do me this, like, thing for free?
I can't do it.
Tis true.
Solid.
The shitty picture that I use as, like, my profile picture and stuff,
It's fantastic.
well, first off, it's
I will
hilarious
say
as
I
hell,
love
which is why
looking
I
at
use
it.
it. But it also, but like the complete set of all of them cost me like $30. They weren't exactly cheap.
Oh, you mean that. I meant the greeting that you right now have as your profile.
Well, that's because somebody thought it'd be funny and they were correct.
And
It is amazing. I think it was Grant too. Thank you, Grant, for the most amazing profile pic I could ever imagine.
Oh, I didn't create it. It was Adrian.
Yeah,
it was Adrian.
Adrian edited it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I did
okay.
the Quagsire one.
Ah, okay.
Am I gonna make it back in time? Am I gonna die?
Probably.
I need more practice. I feel like I could do this level again, but better this time. By like a lot.
Are you gonna make it?
I will say to Mikey, I think out of
I fucked it. What do you mean I fucked
all
it?
of us, I think Zach had I think Zach didn't care about like what he kind of put up, whether it be like face cam or like VTuber or whatever. I feel like he was neutral about it to begin with, so I think whichever was the easiest option.
Well, for the most part, like if I had a dream, my dream would be to have not a PNG tuber, but I want to have a VTuber that is just like a little slime ball that I can relatively easily just like put crap inside of, depending on like what time of year or what holiday it is. I think that'd be great. So like by default, you would just have like some bubbles.
Coin it. Don't let them steal it, Zach. Don't let them take it. Now they know.
Who's them? Mikey? The guy who wanted to shoot up his school or whatever?
She means me.
Oh.
I'm stealing it.
I don't know if you already talked about it, but Obo did get into did we get into the type racism?
Being typist.
The typeism. So we talked ad nauseum about typeism in the playthrough, the Explorers of Sky playthrough. So we don't really need to get into, that specifically, like the topic. But I did specifically ask in the community Discord, has there ever really been like a grass type or something like that Pokemon that's been represented as like a villain in the movie or TV show, like a one-off bad guy, like a particularly annoying Venusaur is not like a bad guy. Like it's a bad guy, but it's not like villainous, I guess is what I'm getting at. Cacnea? Cacnea is a dark type, though. Well,
that's what I was just because I remember Cacnea being on like Team Rocket, like James's team. So technically, right, it's like.
What's Carnivine? Is Carnivine just grass, or is he grass poison?
He might be just grass. Let me double check.
I mean, Celebi was kind of a dick when they got turned evil, but they got turned evil. That's different. That's not the same. Yeah, like,
Carnivine's just grass.
I will say I really appreciated that.
Okay.
Whatchamacallit, Mike posted about that Darkrai. I mean, I think the guy was maybe neutral about it, but that just proves that Darkrai was done dirty.
Evil as for shit.
Darkrai.
No, he's not. He's just misunderstood, and clearly they understood. They were like, bro, why did this one game make him evil when in every other game he's a sympathetic figure? Okay.
She said simp.
She said simp.
100%. 100%. You heard me right.
Book 'em.
You heard me right.
Because whether or not it's like a correct statement or whatever, I now want to think about like what Pokemon type is quote unquote the least villainous by representation.
Hold on, you know that like
fairy proportionally, because fairy is like new. So I would actually argue that based on its like total existence, like total time of existence, it's actually a little overrepresented because a bunch of Team Yell had fairy types, right?
Okay, well okay. Besides it being associated with the team, is it Haternia? Do you remember? Do you know the Pokemon I'm talking about? It's like a witch.
Hatterene.
Yeah, the one who beats the shit out of you if you have emotions.
Yeah. So is that not inherently bad?
That is bad. A lot of the fairy types
but it's not like represented, right?
But it's not
agree.
shown with like in stuff, which is 100% true.
Yeah.
It's just funny because I remember seeing like a little post of like Hatterene or whatever you said in like the left box and then Chansey in the right box, and them being like, Chansey, like, we'll come like give you an egg if you're, you know, feeling down, and then Hatterene being like, it will beat the hell out of you for even feeling close to it.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
How
I thought that was
dare
pretty
you have
funny.
emotions next to me?
How dare you feel anything?
Adrian.
Hello, Adrian.
Oh, hello, Adrian.
Oh,
He sensed our emotions. He came running.
Adrian, you need to check stream.
I'm looking.
You're looking.
Like
What do you
on
see?
Twitch.
Oh yes, go to Twitch quickly, Adrian.
Yeah, like on
Run!
Twitch. Yeah, I gotta check. Quickly, faster.
What the? What's Blankstar?
What's vlogs? Look it up.
No,
Hang on.
don't look it up.
Wow, Zach, I didn't know you were sponsored by Mod Pizza commercials.
He's also sponsored by like Raid Shadow Legends and Hulu because those were the ads that Saba and I got.
I appreciate you guys not having ad block on when you go to my stream. That's really nice.
I don't have ad block
I
in
don't even
general,
turn
so-
off. I don't even turn on ads when I go to my own stream. I have that shit off. I don't want to listen to no fucking ads.
It's the support.
Wait a second.
Audible, nice.
There's something different about the stream layout.
Oh, what could it
It's
be?
green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's green.
It's green.
Get in there, you guys. Mikey says he got an Audible ad. Really weird that all of you people have different ads.
It's to cater to different interests, like how I love pizza, and I'm definitely not lactose intolerant still.
And how I love Raid
Oh.
Shadow Legends.
I cured. Yeah. Saba's
Saba,
known for being
infamous
a
addict.
huge. Yeah.
Infamous
Just get enough of
addict.
those gotcha mobile games.
True. I get one, suddenly I need them all.
Genshin was the gateway drug.
True.
I mean, it is.
Yes.
Correct, yes.
And that's why I have every other gotcha game known to man.
When's the Raid Shadow Legends stream? As soon as they sponsor me and I get to pay off my student loans with a single one of their sponsorships. Friggin' the guy, I talked about him before. I even sent Saba some of his videos, but the guy, Wendigoon, he had a Raid Shadow Legends sponsor the other day. And it was one of those things where it kind of, you know, raised some eyebrows within the community. And then he was super straight up, and he was like, this one sponsorship deal allowed me to put a down payment on a car.
Oh my god.
And it's like, holy fuck,
But
I can't be mad at
sure
you
he
now.
was also like, if it was something super bad, obviously I wouldn't do it. But this is like Shade Rat.
No,
Shadow,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
of course.
Shit, Raj.
I don't even know.
What I want to know is where did
Shade
Raid Shadow
Rattle
Legends,
Legends.
where did they get all this money to start sponsoring people in the first place?
Gotcha games make a lot of money. Raid Shadow Legends already existed for like years prior to all of their advertising stuff that happened.
And
were
then they
saving
suddenly.
up. They were slowly on the grind to be able to sponsor 1 billion ad campaigns.
No, see what they did
Yeah.
is
And
they
they
suddenly
cascaded.
they realized it wasn't working. Then they turned it into a gotcha game, and now suddenly they're doing good.
I'm gonna say that's the best plan ever. You just slowly make a somewhat viable option on the market, and as you save up money, invest all of it into ad campaign.
Invest all of it back into Raid Shadow Legends.
All of it into sponsoring.
You-
It's a cycle.
I love the idea of like some Raid Shadow Legends executive.
The name is just bad.
I love the idea of that guy just being like, he's a multi-millionaire and he just invests all of his money in Raid Shadow Legends. Like he just uses it for polls.
Yeah.
That's the
He's got to
funniest
get the
shit in the
newest
world.
champion.
Oh, that's so
So,
good.
Zach, now that we have face cam, this is like the first step towards the eventual hot tub stream.
That is true. I don't know if people would necessarily tune in for my like frumpy hairy body, but you know, if people want it, I'll do it. I am a slut for them subs.
This is
Oh my god.
this is the first step to you getting those like cutouts on stream of the rest of the co-hosts with little like VTuber PNGs that glow and raise slightly whenever we're talking.
Yeah, exactly. I could do
But
that.
when it comes down
I
to it,
actually
sure.
did look at the API for that. You just hook it up to Discord and it's fine.
Oh, that's neat.
Technology's incredible.
Technology's
Modern
incredible.
world.
You can totally fuck robots now. Anyway,
Oh my God.
Finally.
goodbye.
Later.
You have 2 minutes, Zach.
The real question is, when's the stream where Zach watches Avatar: The Last Airbender without talking and gets a strike?
Oh man.
That's
First
his
off,
final
I am
send-off.
not even remotely pretty enough to get away with that. And on the
Sad.
second hand, didn't she do that? Didn't what was her name again? It wasn't Lily Pichu.
I thought it was Toast. I thought it was Toast that did that.
Well, he did it afterwards because it was like solidarity with what's her face. Well, once again, I don't remember her name. I know she's really popular or whatever, but it was my understanding that she did that because, or she thought that it was okay
I think it was,
because she
yeah.
paid through the nose to get like an HD remaster of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like she paid for it and everything, and she was like, "Oh well, I funded this project. I thought it would be fine." And Nintendo was like, "Fuck no,
Nintendo.
sorry, Nickelodeon."
Nintendo would have done that if it was one of their
Nickel-
games.
Also true.
Nintendo definitely
Nickelodeon.
would have tried.
Saba, I think you're right. Wasn't it Pokimane?
I don't know. I just know.
That sounds
I think Pokemon.
about right. Oh, I'm done.
Hey, very
Hey,
nice.
that went a lot better. It turns out that when you know where things are, the level's a lot easier.
Who knew?
Look at that. A perfect score.
Nice.
All right, cool. Well, let's take this opportunity. I hate seeing my own face on stream. It feels really weird.
You slicked back your hair to look like a Bond villain for it.
Oh.
Oh, you should show him the length, Zach.
Oh yeah, do you
Show
want to
how
see the
long
length of my
his
hair,
hair is.
Adrian? All
Hang on,
right,
I
you
need to
ready?
reopen Twitch
So right
again.
now it looks
Hold on.
pretty normal, right?
Hang on, I gotta sit through another ad real quick.
Okay. Thanks, I appreciate
what
the
is it
revenue.
this time?
Let me know
Who's
when
sponsoring Zach?
you're ready.
Uber Eats. So the first ad here is Uber Eats.
More
First, how
Oh.
many are there?
This guy's eating tape. And the
Nice.
second ad here is some guys on a plane that are gaming. What ad? Hang on, it's one of those ads. Oh, it's an Omen ad, I guess. I don't know what Omen is, but I guess it's Intel. Okay, so it's a computer. All right.
All right.
All right, there. Now I can see your face again with delay.
Resume to. Do you want to see the length of my? But all right, so you're here. You're good.
Yeah.
All right, this is my hair. I haven't cut it in like 2 years. Looks like that.
Hang on,
Luxurious.
it's delayed, so it's taking quite a while. Oh wow, it's wow, it's
So-
down to your shoulders.
Yeah, it's obvious. It's longer than it normally sits because my hair is wet because I got out of the shower like an hour ago. But normally it's a lot poofier. Normally it goes like way out to here. But yeah, I probably should get a haircut soon. But also I
Yeah.
kind of like having the long hair.
Welcome to the long hair club.
Great.
Longish hair.
Can't relate.
Bro, we're
Let's
waiting
take
for
this
you, Grant.
opportunity
You can do
to
it.
banter
It just
stream
takes time.
again.
It's just
I was
takes
going back
time.
through banter topics, and Jesse has like a million, but Jesse shows up when he shows up, so that's like
Jesse.
his own thing. But Grant, don't you have like 3 or 4 things in there that you haven't talked about yet?
Yeah.
Well, then get to it.
Let me pull up. Where is?
Proceeds to immediately give us someone else's banter topic.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, Saba, you brought up. Oh, we already talked about what are you grabbing from the garage fridge. You may play it once. I've found that at least some games, you know, there's the wonder and surprise that really contributes to your enjoyment of the game. And even it's not even the fact of lack of replayability, it's just playing it a second time does not even come close to hitting that high of playing it.
Yeah, I played Outer Wilds.
We all
Okay.
we played Outer Wilds multiple times.
I was just about to say, what are some games that did that for you?
We
but I
have
guess Outer Wilds is
a
one.
fucking exhaustive list of this exact thing, because it's constantly me playing something, showing it to Saba and Lawrence at the same time, and then immediately I'm like, oh no, I ran out of people to show this game to.
Right, it's like these games are particularly narrative or kind of like information heavy, and like information being like you have to learn something. So yeah, I think Zach just falls into like those are the types of games.
Well, because like
So,
another
like-
one that's really great, and I really want Grant to play it one day, is Obra Dinn.
Yeah.
You know, Obra Dinn, you play as a fucking insurance adjuster on a boat, on a ship. And you would think that that'd be the most boring shit in the world until you realize that it's made by the absolute genius Lucas Pope, and you're like, this is actually going to be really interesting. And then it is. And then suddenly you're like, oh wait, I have already learned all the secrets of this game. I know who everyone is. I know all the special things that are going to happen. I can never play this again. It just doesn't
Did you
work.
play Obra Dinn with Colin?
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was pretty good, but
Once again, Colin was just too much of a gamer. He just figured everything out super easily, and then
He's too gaming.
the thing was that I, you know, in my typical fashion, as you know from firsthand experience, I was trying to give him like pointers of like, hey, did you know that if you do this thing, it'll actually make your job a little bit easier? And he was like, I already know. Like he had already independently figured it out and just never mentioned it.
I mean, he was pretty good, like fun, like responsive when it came to like some of the story elements.
Oh, absolutely.
He
Yeah.
was like, "Whoa, dude!" Yeah, so like that stuff. I still think that was pretty.
I'm saying, don't
good.
get me wrong. He was an absolute joy to like have as, you know, a stream partner. But it was just a sort of thing where
He was too
just
efficient.
he was blowing through the game with no difficulty, and I'm like, how?
He's too much of a gamer.
That's what I'm saying.
Then on the opposite end of the spectrum, what are some games that you could play fucking any time and still love it just as much?
Final Fantasy Tactics A2 Grimoire of the Rift.
Very
It's a really
specific.
long
That is
Very
a
good.
title.
Quite
It's my
interesting.
favorite game ever.
Is it
Stuff
really?
that's
Yeah.
Cool.
replayable, right? Where I want to like stay with someone within the realm of like their story stuff. So like older games that I've played, like Harvest Moon or like the Rune Factory, like even though they have a storyline, which actually Rune Factory from Wii, I couldn't like beat that. Like that game was too hard. But whatever. Besides my frustration of not being able to beat it, like I don't mind like
Someone's not a
replaying those.
gamer. If
It's so
Colin was
interesting.
playing
No
Rune
gamer?
Factory for the Wii, he would have finished it in 2.5 seconds flat.
Probably. It's interesting to see. I feel like I could physically just observe how the skill level jumps like times like 10 between like areas, and how like the character's really not equipped. It's like they don't tell you like, yes, you've come to this new area, but be careful. If you get hit once, you're gonna instantaneously die. Like they don't tell you that kind of stuff.
Well, I mean, that's how
Epic.
real life works.
True.
If I punch you in the shoulder, you detonate like a blood bomb.
Yeah, I am the final boss. But yeah, so like those games I find replayable, even though like there's like a
Get in there.
story-ish element
Kill
to
him.
it.
Kill them!
Oh my god.
Fucking murder! Oh my god, look at all this fruit.
Yo, you got a pear?
That came out of that one guy. How did he? Where? Oh, man.
Yeah.
He was
Ain't
a
that some
large
shit?
lad. That's all I know. I'm trying to think about
Large
it.
Lad sounds like a cartoon off-brand Big Gulp substitute at the convenience store.
Large lad.
lad.
Hey, can I get a large lad purple Slurpee?
Large lad is on my resume.
Someone,
if it becomes a
someone
large
shouting,
mad,
"Hey, can
it's
I get a
big
large lad?" has
Slurpee.
much different context depending on where you live.
Wait, what would be better? Okay, if it was a large mad, which one could fit
Large
a
mad?
red Slurpee better? Yeah, large mad or large bad? Which one would fit the red?
Oh no.
Strong bad.
See, if it's a large
Strong
sad,
bad.
then it's blue. Okay, that's the obvious choice.
Damn.
A large sad was what happened in the
me.
U.S. during like the 20s or whatever, wasn't it?
Large
Hey,
Happening now.
we're just trying to. This
when
is for the
everyone was
branding of
suffering.
the Slurpee or whatever it is we're trying to make. Okay.
All right, I wanna pitch the hypothetical.
Hang
In the
on.
hypothetical situation where we're making a brand for a Slurpee and we got to make a name, I would definitely go with the large bad, and I would make sure. You know how they have those like they have those jelly beans where it's like there's a 50% chance that it tastes really good and a 50% chance that it gives
yeah,
you
that
like
fucking sucks.
rocketing diarrhea or whatever.
Yeah, it just kills you.
Rocketing.
Whatever, man. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But I want the large bad to just 100% of the time be awful.
I would prefer the large bad to be the Coke flavor.
Can I step back for a second and I'll propose an alternative name to Zach's large sad drink? Where I would like to
picked large
propose.
sad, but
The
yes,
large
yes,
sad is
go
just the
ahead.
large water.
Well, I'd like to rename it to the Grape Depression.
The grape depression. Oh, and now we have to stick to one flavor.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
but that doesn't make
shit.
it purple. Yeah.
So how about this? How about the name of the drink is the large sad, but the actual flavor is called grape depression?
There you go.
That's flawless right there.
Grape
But
Depression is
yeah.
the competitor drink.
Oh my
So I
god.
don't know. So I got the three
Imagine-
flavors so far in my head. The large mad being red, the large bad being the Coke flavor, and then the large sad being blue. Is there any other flavors?
Could you imagine if every single like Slurpee or Slushy, whatever competitor, every single one of them based their theming marketing off emotions, specifically sadness?
Be pretty good.
Coca-Cola, no.
Coca-Cola, no.
No Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
No Coca-Cola and Pepless.
Oh my god, Pepless is so good. That's like something you would find in like Mother 2. That's an energy drink that you find, but it, or you know what? You remember how in Explorers of Sky there was a thing where sometimes items would have like weird names, and it's like, oh, turns
Yeah,
out
the
it's a trick
off-brand
item, and
ones.
you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Normally you can find Pepsis, but then every once in a while you find a Pepless, and instead of regaining energy, it just gives you fatigue.
Oh my god,
Man.
do you know what one of the most fucked up things about that is so the Reviver Seeds duplicate like phony item was called the
Reviver.
Reviver Seed. Right, but do you remember the text that said when you accidentally used it?
No, what does it say?
It said, you used a Reviver Seed. Your Pokemon started laughing out hysterically so hard that it fainted.
Oh no!
And then it kills you.
You got embarrassed.
They just spontaneously started laughing really, really hard for no reason.
You have 20 seconds, Zach. You make
I'm
it.
working on it. We got it. Everything's fine.
15 seconds.
Man, there was a lot. I feel like there was like a big thing on this level that I missed or something, because there's not a lot. There's like that. Like I'm probably gonna get gold. Oh wait, never mind. I'm definitely not gonna get gold. That one guy is too slow. Fuck.
What was your topic again, Grit? I just completely lost it after the big, sad, large,
Strong
mad,
potion
whatever.
of beauty.
It's a strong potion.
I can't believe you
That
still
was just
have that.
reminding
That
me.
was great.
I had to go back into the community
Caution,
Discord.
healing risk. This potion should be
Yeah.
handled with extreme caution. Symptoms may include reduction of headaches, loss of aches and pains, overall comfort levels increasing. If you or a loved one have experienced a sharp increase of their overall well-being, we are not liable.
That was my favorite part of that was if you or a loved one have experienced a sharp increase in their overall well-being, not our fault. Fuck off.
Yeah, not us.
Wrong.
Fuck you.
Listen,
Potion
we
of
do not want a single
poisoning.
positive testimony on this, okay?
I'm reading the second one now. Please share with a friend. Try our new delicious potion. Guaranteed to add poison to your body or your money back.
I should have changed that to toxins.
Money can only be reclaimed by the deceased. Necromancy potion sold separately.
Forgot about the necromancy potion part.
Necromancy potion sold separately.
So Zach, I go to your potion shop, I take this off the shelf, I drink the little sample cup they have, and they go, tastes like prions, and then I fall over dead.
Man,
I'm surprised that you were able to. I'm surprised that you were able to put it in the little cup, because I specifically designed the strong potion of poisoning so that way when you poured it into the little sample cup, it bored through the plastic and burned your hand.
Well, no, it was a titanium cup. It was very heavy and hard to lift.
It was a tungsten cup. It was huge. It was enormous. It was
a lead cup, so the cup was also poisoning me.
Freaking Superman can't look through
ideas. I'm glad this. You see, these are the good memories, man.
Potion of thick Hulk.
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh my god, it's so
I'm
good.
I'm glad you keep this stuff, Grant.
Like I said, I had to go back to the fucking community Discord.
I'm glad your memory worked.
My memory worked. Also came across this one while scrolling up.
Swords. What was that from?
Okami.
Oh, right, because Saba was like, please use a sword. And I was like, what kind of a nerd uses a sword?
Show off the sword, please. And he's just like, no.
But the rosary was so much better. The final mega ultra weapon that you get is the rosary. It's clearly supposed to be the best weapon.
But I wanted you to at least see what the swords were like.
Boring.
It doesn't matter. You're trying to show off all aspects of the game.
I definitely didn't want to show off all aspects of the game. I wanted to finish Okami before I retired of death.
I just still find it hilarious that it may be because of my, unbounding patience. But yeah, Zach was just impressed with the fact that I don't know if I cared enough.
There were some fights in there that I was genuinely impressed. By the way, I'm a top. There were some fights in Okami that I was genuinely impressed that Saba was able to beat those fights. Not because I don't think Saba's a gamer, but because I
have proof of you
hated
thinking I'm a gamer.
It was awful.
It was at that moment Zach called me a gamer. So
I did. I legitimately called you a gamer, if I remember correctly. It was the fight versus like 30 dogs at the same time or whatever. And each dog has fucking super armor, and each dog also does 16 other things. And I'm like, just go fuck yourself, Okami.
They eat your shoes.
I never loved you, Okami.
I continue to love you, Okami. Like, it's interesting because even though like I was like, oh, I don't think of it like as a what did we call those games? Like, what did we call Journey? Right? We were trying to think of like games that are like. Oh no, what was
Journey
it called?
Journey is like evergreen. Like
a masterpiece.
Oh, right, because we had a whole fucking multi-episode diatribe about what our masterpiece is.
Yeah, but it's like as soon as I rehear Okami's music or I re-look at Okami's visual, I turn and I like glance over being like, you know what? I think I'm gonna retake that statement back. I do think Okami's a masterpiece.
It's definitely not, but it's
amazing.
Parts of it are definitely masterful. It is absolutely not a masterpiece, though. Maybe the first third of it was a masterpiece.
Just
I almost wish that all of the post-game content was I almost wish that the vast majority of that was like side quests that you could have done while fighting Orochi. You know what I mean? Like, imagine if instead of having
Orochi's the big bad, so you fight like his like sub-minion people first.
Well, no, I mean like literally side content. Like, imagine if instead of because the game was like, all right, you're fighting Orochi, and then you fight the nine-tailed fox, and then you fight this, and then you fight this, and it's just like everything's really sequential. What if it was like wholesale just a side thing where it's like while fighting Orochi, you go to the palace or whatever, see that everybody's sick, and you can take the opportunity if you want to, you know, save the city from the nine-tailed fox. That'd be really cool. It'd be a fucking insanely. It would be an insane thing,
old,
but you could.
I think the game was just probably.
It was too long.
It's just an older game, man.
It was
I think
too
that's
long.
the thing.
That's all. That's literally my only problem with Okami, was that it was too long. Everything else was more or less fine.
It's something, and that was interesting because I'm like, maybe the game was too old for them to consider being like, let's split this up into like multiple stuff, because it's just like, I don't know.
Fucking get him, dude. There you go. Good job.
We may eventually play Okami Den. Who knows?
Maybe.
Over Zach's dead body.
That will have to be with Zach. I think Zach has like the means to play Okami Den versus like me. So like, I definitely think
you can also get the means to play Okami Den. I'm not gonna help you. Why would I help you do something terrible to yourself?
Why would I help you?
That's an interesting way of saying that. Yeah.
You're
out of
like, that's
context.
the video game equivalent of being like, hey Zach, would you mind pushing me out into a busy street? I'm like, no, I'm not gonna help you play Okami Den.
And
I-
No,
I've asked
not
you
help
many
me
a time.
play Okami Den. Help me like set up to be able to play, not the game itself.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
so
what
that
I'm
is you're
saying.
doing. Okay.
I consider
Well,
you
only
a
go
friend,
so far.
Saba, and because of that, I'm not gonna let you self-harm.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I mean,
believe
just because I was just saying it on the bounds of, I don't think we would get around to it before like your shift thing starts. So it would have to either be a
absolutely
Sunday
not. No way.
stream. Yeah, it would either have to be a Sunday stream, or I somewhat figure out how to do it, which, as you just said, no help, no harm to self.
No harm to say.
Get him. There you go. Got a little guy.
I don't know, Mikey. I feel like Zach, it's equivalent in Zach's head. I didn't say it. He said it. That's his
Mikey
opinion.
says, pretty sure playing Okami Den and being pushed into a street is two different things. Absolutely not.
In Zach's eyes, no.
You could have reasonably played Okami on my death certificate, and people would be like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense that
No.
killed him.
And then I
They're
would
like,
say
not
greatest
another
achievement
one.
in life on my tombstone will be Okami. and they would also say, like, makes sense.
Not gonna lie.
Gamer.
True. It's
Oh,
like
man.
it's like there are very few accomplishments that the world can do that are universally impressive. Like there's Sisyphus rolling the boulder up the hill. There's, you know, reciting every line of the Poke Rap, and then there's finished Okami. Like 100% in Okami.
Man,
even.
this really took a toll on you, the game.
I loved Okami. Okami was stupendous.
I never want to see it again.
Exactly.
I never wanted
The
to-
first third of Okami was one of my favorite video games that I played in a really, really long time. The fucking second and third thirds of that didn't need to exist.
Or it just didn't need to exist in one game.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but that's essentially the same statement, I think.
Well, remember we were talking about, like, if they made it
If they
into,
had
like, a
made
sequel.
an Okami 2, like a direct Okami 2, that was
Yeah.
just the fucking second half of that game, sure, no problem.
Yeah, we talked about that, so.
No comedies nuts.
Okami is nuts, dude. Wait.
Anywho, who knows? The thing is, Okami Den, I don't actually know how different it is from Okami because it was on the DS and it was, I think it's like almost an entirely different game. Like I don't think it's like Okami.
I do
If
have,
I'm
I do
trying.
have the ROM for it, so I don't know. Maybe one day when I'm feeling particularly hateful about myself, maybe I'll try it.
I mean, Mikey can, if you've played Okami, you can confirm or deny whether or not it's like similar or not.
Oh yeah, Mikey also brings up a good point. Never playing Gates to Infinity. This is one of those things, it ties back to an older discussion of like, oh, well, you know, if you haven't played or experienced something, can you really have an opinion about it? I'm pretty confident with the community's pretty much unanimous decision of saying, yeah, Gates to Infinity, not a good Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game. I am confident in that.
Oh, are you still looking at getting like a tablet to play?
Well, potentially.
Pokemon
If, like, I think that I might celebrate and get the tablet if I do successfully get a shift change to Friday, Saturday.
Okay.
If I do that, and then we can, like, you know, keep doing stream, yeah, I'll do it. Because I would love to play Shadows over Almia. Grant, I didn't actually answer his question, but Grant's question of what
Grant left.
he's gonna
So
be right
you're
back. But
yeah.
Grant's question of what game can you play like over and over? I think it might be Shadows over Almia. It's really good. Anywho, so Grant's gone, so we don't have another banter topic. Let's bring up another banter topic. I don't want to talk about Okami anymore. It's like driving a nail through my foot.
Let's talk about how tetanus isn't real.
Speaking of driving a nail through my foot, Adrian, tell us why tetanus isn't real.
So, there's this kid in my program who has been actively regressing as far as progress in being a functioning social person. Earlier this week, well, actually, just today, he actually got suspended because he lunged at one of his peers and tried to attack him for staring at him wrong.
Yikes.
Earlier in the week, he refused to dress out or participate in PE. So instead, the staff had me walk with him along the mile track because the other PE teachers didn't want him just sitting there and making the other kids jealous of him, I guess, is the logic. So while he was walking on the track, he kept collecting things along the side of the track, like sticks and like used hair ties or whatever. And eventually he found, I don't know how or where he found it, but he found an old rusty like finger length stick of just iron.
Ugh.
And this is a kid who at the beginning of the year I had to physically restrain in a full Nelson because he kept trying to punch plastic with fistfuls of coins, which seems like a way to hurt your fingers, which I didn't want him to do.
Is this does this kid have access to therapy or something? This seems like
His dad actively believes that medicine doesn't work. So
Well then.
I can't imagine why this kid has
you
trouble.
can continue now. Yeah.
anyway, I told him, hey, you should put that down because you're tying that piece of iron to that stick, like this forearm length, like foot long-ish stick. That's basically an improvised weapon. And I am obligated to basically make sure that you don't hurt anyone, including yourself or me, with that. And he said, no, that's fine. And I'm like, okay, it's rusty though. And he's like, no, that makes it safer. And I told him,
What?
okay.
Well, the kid might have the logic, because I remember having the same, like, kind of weird thought when I was younger. I remember thinking that rusty swords would be, like, deal less damage because they're not as sharp.
Right.
Does it lose its sharpness with like?
So I start explaining to him, okay, but you know what tetanus is, right? And he says no, and I say,
Tetanus?
okay, tetanus is a disease you get from mishandling rusty objects that can kill you or make you have to amputate a limb if you don't take care of it like properly. And he said he says this to my face while refusing to put down the thing or hand it over or just throw it away. He says this actively. He's like, that's not a real disease. I've been handling rusty things since I was 3. And I tell him, okay, you probably had a tetanus booster when you were young, if that's true. However, I don't believe that that's true. And he said, okay, I don't believe tetanus is a real disease.
Damn.
He like pulls up tetanus images online,
Well-
and then you see limbless people being like,
Well,
Yeah.
I told him, Okay, do you know who you're sounding a lot like right now? Denying the fact that diseases that have killed many people are real? And he was quiet and said, "You're reminding me a lot of our former president, Donald Trump." And I asked, "Do you remember when he did that?" And he said, "Yes. And if you keep saying that, I'm gonna go burn down the school." And so I stopped talking to him, and he just walked the track quietly for the rest of the period.
What the fuck?
Oh my god. Okay, well,
saying that.
I mean, he just threatened to burn down the school.
These are the kids that I am working with.
Good
Oh my
lord.
god. What has happened?
Like, I told him, like, tetanus is a very real disease. He said, "Yeah, and I'm choosing to believe it doesn't exist." So I just like gave him the response, and he got so pissed at the idea of being compared to Donald Trump that, yeah, he threatened to burn down the school, basically.
My god.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I'm just at a loss for
Has
words.
gotten worse, you know?
like, this kid was one of our best students at the beginning of the year, but he has actively regressed as far as his social status and abilities and, you know,
I mean,
health.
it may be home stuff then, but if that's the case, then that's like really unfortunate.
It's been real rough. His peers keep calling him a school shooter, which is super inappropriate and definitely not helping.
No, that is really bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking bad, but that's my job, and I am negotiating a pay raise with my supervisor.
Zach, there was a warning.
Fucking what was the
I think
warning?
it's scared. All of them are saying I have a bad feeling.
Oh, I didn't read.
I like how you're just like, what do you mean, Saba? There wasn't anything. I'm like, yes, there was. That.
There's
It's
a
like,
difference.
No.
Warning should be
If I
like on the
didn't-
ground. There should have been like a big exclamation point that was like, "Warning, giant fuck you spider."
Zach just chose not to believe in the warning,
That's true.
so that's why he didn't see it. But
I
man,
remember
that
there
did
was
disappoint me.
a upsettingly long period of time where that streamer that I was following for a really long time was actively arguing with his fan base that fucking food poisoning wasn't real.
That's unfortunate.
Because he was and he later claims that it was a bit, but I don't know, man. He fought really hard for, you know, it being, you know, not real. And because his whole argument was that I don't think food poisoning is real. I think that all food poisoning, or at least the vast majority of food poisoning, is actually people just not cleaning their fucking hands and then eating something.
What does he think food poisoning?
Well, because food
is?
poisoning is like rotten food or something. Like if you go to like Chipotle and you get and you get like nauseous or whatever.
I think it could be also I think like not infected, but like mishandled food that has been, I'll use the word, infected with like bacteria from like the outside. I don't think it has to expressly come from the food itself.
Well,
Right?
Yes and no. Like it has to be something that you consumed.
No, yeah, I mean, you ate, like, let's say the chicken, right? But maybe the chicken didn't have any problems, but someone with dirty hands touched the chicken.
That's technically not food poisoning. That is like, you know, bad food preparation, which kind of feels like food poisoning, I guess. Anyway, the point of me bringing this up was just like in a similar fashion, Northern Lion argued for, I want to say like 3 years, that food poisoning wasn't real, and then eventually, you know, people were like, I think for the first like 2 years he was legit like, food poisoning isn't real, y'all just need to wash your hands. And then after a while, eventually he was like, you know what, it is real, but you should still wash your hands.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what,
those
that's
two
a
things
middle
don't
ground
have to
I
be
can agree to.
synonymous. Right? Like,
What if I pour some strong potion of poisoning on the food? Is that food poisoning?
No.
no, because you'll feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah, killing someone.
Killing someone always makes me feel better. What?
And now we got that.
What do you guys...
What?
Well, anyway, what do you guys think of the grandpa's bed alignment chart?
I like I like seeing all the
Okay.
posts on Twitter and stuff about the Stardew Valley grandpa mods, because it's just a PNG, right? It's just like an image.
Yeah. Well, it might be a gift with like a fireplace crackling. I don't remember, but either way, it's not an immense amount of effort.
I think
Mods.
that's great. I think it's fantastic.
I really, really, really love Slightly Worse Bed, where one of the posts just knocked over.
I like playing ping pong.
Oh,
on
you do have it on
Grandpa's
there.
bed.
I like the grandpa is the bed. Because
then
I like it because at first I was like, why is it so fucking green? And then I looked at his sleeve and it's like, oh, because he's wearing green. How clever.
And then I also, this is the first time I've seen this after seeing this meme. I like Worse Dying Grandpa, where there's no bed. And it's like rotting and there's flies. Worse Dying Grandpa is really good.
Fucking get him, dude. Fucking book him. Fucking whoop him. Come on.
Be careful to call your people back. Call your people back quickly.
Why?
Because you get crushed.
But they're fine. Look, they're all just gonna kill him. Oh my! Did I get stepped on? I did get stepped on. See, if I get stepped on, that's bad. If they get stepped on, I can just make more. That's how I feel about children.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Holy
Here's
fuck.
here's another few
shit.
Grandpa's beds for you to enjoy.
Back to topic. What's your feelings on
Race
Elon Musk
car
buying
bed.
Twitter?
I'm not on. I'm okay. I am quote unquote on Twitter, but I just follow someone that like gives me notifications, so it doesn't exist in my world, kind of. So I don't particularly
I do
care.
believe that it is a little bit more significant than just do you use Twitter? Because
Well,
a guy was able to get together $45 billion to buy a social media
Him
platform.
buying it out was pretty like crazy, if anything. Yeah, from like an outsider's perspective, I guess.
He
And
could
it's
have
Like
like
he's
solved
like
world hunger.
going in the company. I am
He
majority
could have
stockholder or
solved world
shareholder
hunger
now.
for less than a seventh, I think, of that.
It was for $6 billion. He could have solved world hunger.
But he's like, no, I don't want to do that.
I'll buy Twitter for $40 billion. Fuck Elon Musk.
Absolutely. I mean, fuck Elon Musk even before this nonsense. But it's just the sort of thing where it's just like, I don't know, man. It's like, on one hand, I do believe that people should be allowed to spend their money on whatever they want. On the other hand, he shouldn't have enough money to just, on a whim, be like, you know what? I'm going to buy an entire social media platform and not make a dent in my fortune.
Billionaires
It's interesting because if you had someone like good, right, they could potentially contend with like the big corrupt corporations, but that's like
But
Drama, there are
good people
billionaires.
can't become billionaires. Like that's like we
Yeah.
talked about this before, but like a fundamental requirement of being a billionaire is that you have to be okay with exploiting like enormous numbers of people. Good people don't do that.
no, I got you. I'm just presenting.
Yeah, you have to be at
presenting
Adrian
this
Seminar.
hypothetical that could have been okay, I guess, but it doesn't exist really.
Yeah. I mean, in the hypothetical
Yeah.
scenario, sure, we want a
Yeah.
we want a knight in a shining suit of armor to slay all the bad people, but that's not going to happen.
Well, in that case, it would have been interesting, right? Because it's like we're like maybe there's no need for you to like for us to be like you don't even need like billions of dollars. But I was like that was something else. I was like, well, potentially it would have been fine. Let's say if like the person who was holding like the billion was like the good person fighting against the like corporations and like whatnot. But
Yeah, sure.
yeah,
You know, I don't know,
Yeah.
man. It's just one of those things where it was shocking, and I don't know. They're once again, because of where I live, a lot of people have a lot of opinions, and one of the things that was like, I don't know. You try not to talk about this sort of stuff because despite the fact that it's a billionaire buying a social media platform, it still counts as politics, evidently, and so you don't talk about it. But, you know, sometimes people mention things in the thing and you're just like, hey, that's a little weird. And it's the sort of thing where it's just like, well, he earned the money. He gets to spend it however he wants. And I'm like, no. Like, Elon Musk just spent on a single transaction more money than the president of the United States asked for to support a war-torn country. for an app.
It's just it's just the unfortunate thing of things are way more complicated than like people can, I don't want to say comprehend, but it's like people will look into. It's like businessman is like way more complicated than I would want to care to look into. Maybe that's like it. So it's like to boil it down to just being like, sure, he earned money, but like there's more to that than just
but
like.
he didn't earn the money. He had an enormous like familial wealth
From blood diamonds, yeah.
From literal blood diamonds, and
Yes.
he kind of haphazardly for a while reinvested that wealth. Like it's the sort of thing where it's just like his family had so much wealth that there was no way he wouldn't be able to make money. He could have burned piles of cash and he still would have made money somehow. You know what I mean? In fact, that's what Venmo was for a long time, and then it finally took off because enough people started using it, you know?
And that's what I say. Like you could say, like the most dumbed down.
Oh, that was the last anyone heard from
like,
Captain Olimar.
Oh, that's depressing. Ooh.
I
Sad.
forgot that was the last mission. Apparently, I did do the prologue before.
And then he fucking died.
And then he fucking died. I think the thing about Elon Musk that frustrates me the most is that there is a disappointingly large number of people who I genuinely respect who think that he's a genius. Like he's a brilliant inventor, like Tony Stark. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. And I'm
I
like,
don't think anyone. It's fantasy.
like, this guy doesn't
Bought all the companies.
like he doesn't know anything. He hires people that know stuff and then gets to claim ownership of what they make because that's how business works in the modern age. You know what I mean?
Have you guys seen that tweet that he did where he's like, "Oh, subway tunnels are immune to surface weather"?
Yeah, it's like,
Like,
bro,
what? Are you
what?
stupid? What are you
It's
talking
like,
about?
dude, I don't know if you knew this, Elon, but water is subject to gravity on Earth.
No.
He may be smart in something, but maybe everything he tweets out, he probably has no idea.
He's genuinely not smart. I can tell you that. You just like listen to his
Well, I didn't know
interviews,
you
look at what
personally,
he
yeah.
does in his own life. He's not dumb. He's not a dumb guy. He's just a guy who was born into a family that had a shit zillion dollars. That's
Like all
Elon
billionaires.
Musk.
Wait, is this his voice? Is this all
I
his
think
voice?
it's
Then?
arguable
Olimar
that
has a very
he-
deep voice, yes.
Oh
You
my
could definitely find a
God.
couple metrics that define Elon as dumb, I think.
Yeah, but you can do that for most people. That's what I mean when I say that Elon Musk is just a guy who has money. He's not special. Well, I guess
This
he
was wrong
literally
that Elon
is
Musk has
special. He
people.
just bought Twitter.
I was gonna say the thing that makes him special is not a trait that he earned or chose to have.
Like being tall.
Yeah.
Scarlet.
Not bitter. Rant. You're not
Just need-
special.
We just needed a chiropractor and a jackhammer, and then Zach will be as tall as you.
I just need to kill you.
Jackhammer for me or Zach?
We just need to like put Zach's neck under a hydraulic press, and it'll straighten out, and he'll be tall again.
Oh. Just
so
like how I
simple.
used to be.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's funny.
Press.
By the way, Mikey said he hears people saying they're gonna jump ship from Twitter. Ships. But he's like, where are they gonna go? Facebook again?
I mean, obviously not. I've seen a decent number of people saying that they're gonna go back to like Tumblr or whatever, and that's obviously
they
not
don't.
very reasonable.
They shouldn't come back. Please.
MySpace.
Please go away.
It's like I'm like even if it's owned by Elon Musk, I am still going to be using Twitter because I have painstakingly like curated my like social media presence to a degree that I don't think I can replicate on literally any other site, you know? I have finally just gotten it to the point where when Twitter suggests like new people to follow, and like because Twitter does this really annoying thing where even if you don't follow people, it'll show you posts from people who follow other people, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't want that. I don't want friends of a friend. I want the people that I
You broke
like.
into the system that you were like, you're like, I cracked the code, I got what I wanted.
Because what I mean to say
I
is
don't
that it
want
took an
to-
enormously long time, but I did finally get it to the point where whenever Twitter
You got
makes
verified.
suggestions nowadays, it's always just like, oh, here's this really cool pixel artist. Here's this person who does really fantastic art of just like anime characters, and I'm like, that's fantastic. Thank you.
Of Sly Cooper.
Or Sly. Well, okay, that came
Big
from.
Pretty Goth GF.
That came from. It was a Twitter that I've been following for a while called like Lost Media or whatever. And the guy was just like, here's a bunch of concept art from Sly Cooper 4, and I'm like, dude, this is the furriest shit I've ever seen.
Oh,
Do you not know, Zach?
Well, I knew what Sly Cooper
maybe Mikey
was,
already
but everything was
knows.
always just
Ooh.
kind of like a subpar 3D model, I guess. And so seeing the fucking what you calls it, the seeing the concept art where it's literally just a sexy fox lady, I'm like, what the fuck? This is like more overt than Zootopia.
Zach, the character's already in the game.
Utopia.
What character's already in the game?
Sexy fox lady.
No, I know. I'm familiar with the character. I'm saying the concept art takes the character to like 11. And I'm like,
Nice.
geez, come on.
Jeez Louise.
I
feel
can't be ousted
Get a
like
little
this
hot
on my
under the
Twitter.
collar.
I feel like we browse different circles because I am certainly not as shell shocked, I think.
You were ousted, Zach, as soon as you called her a dog lady.
Fox lady, but sure.
They're the same thing, right?
They are. Anybody who says
That's what I
otherwise
said.
is dumb.
That's why I said he got ousted as soon as he said dog lady.
I didn't
see.
though.
But what if?
But what if Saba shut her
is-
fucking
If we
mouth for
gaslight
once?
Zach, we turn the tables on him and use his favorite tool against him, make him think that he said dog lady.
No! What are you talking about? I don't gaslight people.
He's doing it again.
You say I
Just
gaslight
like he
people.
never, he
If
never
anything, you're
argued with me
gaslighting
about
me.
dogs versus foxes. That
Yes.
never happened.
You've walked onto our plan, Zach. We're using your favorite tactic against you.
We
Oh,
blocked
no.
the front door of your house.
To kill a
Zach.
dragon, you must
We've
breathe
ins-
fire at it and burn down his village.
We've installed blocks on the outside of each of your doors, Zach. We've locked all of them.
There was a fucking
We're coming
gold. There was a gold strawberry over here that I just missed the first time.
What kind of asshole leaves a gold strawberry lying around?
Which is
baby.
funny to think about because it's like it's not actually gold, obviously. It's literally just like spray painted gold. But humanity has been dead on this planet for like hundreds of years. Who put it there?
Who put it there and why?
Tell us your secrets.
I want
Omar and co, like, descendants of humans somehow?
No, they're just aliens, I think.
They're
I
aliens, but
have
the
pretty
only trait is that they
significant
look really
confidence that they're
small.
just aliens.
They just are small humans, though.
But they're not. They're like copites or whatever.
Yeah, but they just look
co-pilots?
like small people.
Yeah, but that's how fiction works.
I think
Listen,
it'd be
I don't know, man. I
species
don't.
here.
If I have to see, ooh, Zach, if I have to see another alien that's a bipedal person, I'm gonna be real mad.
Now,
Adrian's gonna be mauling over here.
now listen.
Listen, the odds of aliens we encounter being bipedal, I think they're astronomically low. And I think that's ridiculous to assume that any other alien would have a similar form to us.
Well, because
I
like
would see-
a biped doesn't even make sense on Earth.
I think what it is, half the time they say like really, I don't want to say intelligent, but one thing that like makes her really, I don't know what evolutionary forward or whatever, is the fact that like thumbs can be used. So as soon as like you're on 4,
Yeah, but
Like,
do
I
you
guess
know?
it could
But do you
still
know what's
work, but
better
it's
than
like-
thumbs? A sticky
Feet.
blob.
oh,
Like if the ends of your hands were just like goo blobs, you don't need thumbs. Your whole
Zach wants to
hand is a
return to the
thumb.
primordial ooze.
Your whole hand just suddenly becomes a thumb.
Zach
That's
is
how it
looking
works.
for anyone for who can do a VTuber for him of a blog. He's looking.
I
Begging.
am. It's true. Can I pay? Maybe? Question mark? Don't know. I haven't got my first paycheck yet.
No, Mikey. I will quit. I don't want that to happen. I do not want Sprigatito to be on 2 legs. Do not hurt me more Pokemon than you already have.
But you can't have You can't have a cat that's not bipedal, because then what are you gonna do for the furry community?
Cry. They can figure their own stuff out, okay?
If you fuck something that's on 4 legs, that's way harder to argue is not bestiality.
Zach, I'm not familiar.
Trust me, I know.
No, Zach, I'm coming at this from a stance of a 42-year-old man who's never consumed any fiction media in my life, but I think it'd be pretty silly if aliens looked anything like us.
You know, in a very legitimate way, what do you guys think aliens would look like? I fully subscribe to the theory of aliens either just being a slime ball or like a cloud of gas. Like the first alien that we encounter would just be like one of those things.
I think the first aliens we encounter will be psychic beings.
Right, what do they
Who
look
knows?
like?
I don't even know.
I don't care about what their Pokemon type is. I want to know what they do.
They would have ascended physical form.
Well, then how do we encounter them? That doesn't make any sense, Adrian.
I hope they look like biblically accurate angels.
Absolutely.
They would exist on the 5th dimension, a dimension higher than we can perceive, and they would interact with us.
Zach.
I know he said it, all right?
The community has already taken care of that, so Sprigatito can stay on 4 legs.
Well, what if
with the tape?
He didn't.
What if Sprigatito had? What if he was a extremely rare? Oh my god! What if he was an extremely rare form-changing starter where he has a bipedal and quadrupedal form? He's just both.
I don't mind
that. He just has 1 leg.
What if he just had 1 leg? What if he just turned into a cat slug?
Oh god. Ugh.
That'd be great.
What if he turned into Long Furby?
Please.
He would just become Long Furby.
That'd be sick.
You mean Flong?
Oh god, okay, I didn't say anything about that, but...
Long Snart?
Long Snart. Dude, kill him. Fucking kill him, dude. Just kill him. Come on. Come on, Pikmin. Come on. I know you guys can get crushed. You're okay.
Proceeds to have all of his people be crushed, being like, there's no one left now. Zach's like, oh, maybe it matters.
It doesn't matter. They don't matter.
The end times have come.
Nothing matters.
These Pikmin definitely do not matter.
Zach in like the corner as he sheds a tear. No, they don't matter.
They don't. If they mattered, then why am I killing them?
Oh man.
Dude, holy shit. Okay, there we go. I forgot how much health these spider things have.
There hasn't been much else about Violet and Scarlet. I just have to remind myself of the other color.
What the name was.
Yeah, but there hasn't been really much else, right?
I don't think so. Beyond just like unsubstantiated leaks and stuff, I haven't seen anything.
As you already know, Mikey, we talked about this. All of us talked about. I would have loved a dark tiger on all 4s. I had posted pics about it. I think people mostly agreed with me.
Hey, Mikey, can you answer a question for me? Does Saba sound a little robot-y to you?
What?
Yeah, but I want to ask Mikey because if it's not coming through on Discord, I'll leave it. But otherwise, I might have to like reset. Dude, where's the fucking... What the fuck? What's this? Get over there, quick. We have like a minute.
It's not terrible.
A little, it's not terrible. All right, I'm going to leave it just for now. If it continues, I'm just going to... Because normally I fix this by just shutting down Discord and coming back. Oh my god, I'm so close to being all the way there. Come on. It's literally just this. Come on, dudes. Faster. Come on, faster, please.
I just unplugged and replugged. Like sometimes if I unplug stuff, it sounds better, but
To be fair, I
Maybe
didn't
not.
notice until you brought it up. Yeah, that's normally how these sort of things work, you know? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Hey guys, without knowing what it sells, would you enter and shop at Plug's Butt Ugly Stuff Hut?
Yes.
Yes.
Out of pure curiosity.
I'll let you guys do that first.
I would do
I'll
it.
let you guys
I
go
would do
ahead.
it purely for the receipt.
What would you want to buy from Plug's
What
Butt
if-
Ugly Stuff Hut without what do you think? What do you think you would see?
You
what
have
do you
to see the
think is
price
in there? What do you
first,
think
man.
you would buy?
Mirrors.
I wanna buy anal beads as thick as my shoulder.
No, I didn't. It's not Plug's Ugly Butt Stuff Hut. It's Plug's Butt Ugly Stuff Hut. So the stuff in there isn't necessarily tied to butts.
So it's just
butt
stuff.
ugly.
It
It's
could
just
be.
stuff.
It's stuff, but it's stuff, but it's butt
It's just a
ugly
bunch
stuff.
of stuff.
It's just a bunch of stuff.
It's just a
What
bunch
is
of
butt
stuff.
ugly?
It's butt ugly stuff. Don't
I
forget
don't know.
What
that.
do you
Look
find
at
as
the
butt
mirror.
ugly stuff?
All the stuff there is.
Grant
butt
already
ugly.
made that joke.
Oh shit!
Yeah, what would
I
you-
was
what would
busy
you buy
thinking
from
about
the-
anal beads.
Late.
What would you buy from the hut that sells stuff that's all butt ugly?
Sprigatito.
Wow.
Ow, you're depressing.
Man.
Rude.
Ow.
As depressing as his bipedal form.
Jalapeno lizard turns into butt ugly.
I'm not picking that. I'm picking the duck.
Quacks.
I hope your duck also turns butt ugly.
The duck is gonna be a pirate, and I'm gonna laugh at your misfortune. Zach
Is that a
hates
thing they
Weed
have?
Cat. It's true.
Is that a thing they have? The Spanish pirate is like a thing, right? That's like a thing that they could do with that.
I mean,
Yes.
there were Spanish pirates, right? So
Spain had the
Hernán
second
Cortés.
largest naval fleet back during the golden age of piracy. So it doesn't even need to be a pirate per se. It could just be a sailor.
Oh, don't make it a cop pirate. That's what I call sailors.
That doesn't make any sense.
pirate.
They have names for that.
Listen, you're either a pirate or you're
They're
a cop
called
pirate.
sea
mean a
marshals. They're
privateer?
literally
No.
ocean. They're literally ocean
You're a
policemen.
pirate cop. You're a
Coast
pirate
Guard.
cop.
I'm a pirate cop. I'm a duck.
Listen, if you're seafaring, you're either a pirate or a pirate cop.
There-
That seems
options.
logical.
It's a
Duck
binary.
version of William the Kid. Wait, why do you call him William the Kid?
William.
It's
No, it's
Billy.
William
It's Billy
Kid.
the Kid. I have
What?
never heard him called William the Kid. Why are you so
You're
formal? Do
thinking-
you know him?
No, you're thinking William Kidd, and you're thinking
It said
Billy the Kid
William
of
Kid.
the.
Yeah,
It's
Mikey
William
said William
Kidd.
Kid. It's not William the Kid. He just said
Billy the
William
Kid was the Old West
Pirate, yeah.
fucking criminal. Yeah, pirate. He sailed upon the seven sands. No.
the seven
Sands.
gorges. I heard the name in Persona 5. Oh, he's Captain Kidd.
Yeah, William
His
Kidd.
first name was William?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Believe
That's
I
what
would
he's
fucking
known.
steal his lunch money, William.
William Kidd.
Wow.
Have a cool name like Grant or Saba.
Oh, that's very nice.
You're welcome. Now give me your lunch money.
All right.
It's funny. It's funny saying that because Zach was the one in a previous stream who said he would beat me up and
I
steal
would
my
beat you
or
up
try
for
to
the
take my thing.
lulz.
Yeah, there you go.
Zach would beat Saba up for Saba like saving his life.
Probably.
How fucking dare you?
Probably.
Did I give you permission to touch me?
Oh, I wouldn't save your life by touching you. That wouldn't happen. If
What are
it
you
was,
using your
trying to move,
telekinesis?
if I
Zach
was
would
trying to
save
move
Saba
you in
for
order
taking
to
a bullet
save
for him.
you, it wouldn't
I
happen.
would
I
save
couldn't do
Saba
it.
from taking a bullet for me. Saba jumps in front of me. I jump in front of her. Saba jumps in front of me. The guy with the gun's like, "How are you doing that?"
Oh man.
Fucking, please stop.
I only have so many bullets.
Hey, give me 1 second. My phone is getting a lot of messages. I need to make sure that someone's not
His
dead.
phone's popping off.
You want to know a detail that I learned a while ago that always fucks my perception of how arrows work?
What's that?
Like, as far as I'm aware, and feel free to correct me on this, Grant, as the resident archery expert, but like, a bow with decent poundage in the hands of a trained archer will straight up punch through a person and will not stick in them. It'll just go straight through.
It depends on how
the type of
thick
arrow,
the
right?
person is.
Okay, well, I don't know.
Also true.
I went to the arrow first. Zach went to the person.
Arrows go through bulletproof vests, and
That doesn't make any sense, Grant. Everybody knows a bullet is just a more powerful version of a ball. Of an arrow, rather. Sorry.
I've shot through a bulletproof vest, and it was fun.
Yeah, isn't there a certain type of like, arrow for like that kind of stuff?
No person attached to it.
I feel like. So I feel like if it can go through a ceramic plate vest, it can probably go straight through a person and like not leave a pretty looking arrow stuck in there. Like
why are you making bulletproof vests out of pottery?
That's what's in a bulletproof vest. There's like ceramic plates in there.
There are specific tips for.
It depends on the place, but a lot of them use ceramic plates.
Thank you, Sava.
How is that? How does that work? Because when I think of ceramics, I think of the thing that I drop on the floor and it shatters into a million pieces. And what is a bullet but a floor that comes at you instead of you going to it? Like, I don't understand how that helps at all.
That's like, the greatest description I've heard of a projectile ever.
I genuinely don't understand how ceramics are supposed to protect you from a bullet. You might as well just have like a deck of cards. That way you could call it a magic trick.
It says, compared to traditional metal plates, ceramic plates have much stronger bulletproof capability based on their special molecular structure.
What the fuck are you talking? What molecular structure? But it shatters on the floor. You know what does it? A steel pot.
These ceramics are often formed of composite blend.
Oh, so it's called ceramic, but it's actually like multiple things.
So
wait, what is ceramics made out of? Is it made out of clay?
Some of it, yeah.
How much is some?
My understanding is lacking.
Hey, Grant, I have a real quick question. Just kind of springboarding off of the nonsense that I was just saying.
Okay, so,
does getting shot by a bullet count as fall damage?
Certainly not.
By your description, yes.
Unless you're skydiving and someone on the ground shoots up at you.
Oh my god, that bullet would deal like super crit.
But
like it doesn't even just deal double damage; it deals like times 10 damage, and you just vaporize.
I'm reading up, Zach, and I will say that part of the downside of ceramics is that while it is extremely, extremely, extremely hard, it does also.
Just like me.
Just like me when I'm looking at Sprigatito.
Oh no!
Just like me when I'm looking at Sly Cooper concept art.
What's happening?
But anyway, what I'll basically say is that it looks like the fragility is a big part of it, in that it'll basically stop one bullet super, super well, but then that part of the vest needs to be repaired or replaced before you can.
Yeah, Kevlar vests don't keep working. That's the thing. Your bulletproof vests don't keep working.
What do you mean they don't keep working?
I don't think you could take a chain gun to a bulletproof vest and expect it to survive.
Well, what the fuck is the point of the bulletproof vest? Who shoots somebody once?
I'm sorry, Zach.
Shining armor is better,
I can hear from your voice that you bought a vest, and I'm so sorry to tell you that you're gonna have to replace it every single time you get shot now.
But like, what kind of a racket is that? Who designs a? Well, actually, you know what? It's called a bulletproof vest, not a bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
There you go.
See? One.
They marketed it truthfully, you know.
But that's so inconvenient to me.
Oh wow!
There's like I'm just thinking about it. Just like, you know, just generously, your average handgun has like an 8 ammo clip in it, and it's like, all right, so you're saying I need to wear 8 layers of bulletproof vest? I'm already fat. I can't walk around like that.
God.
I think the face cam is doing something to me today.
I will say we have perfected armor to protect these guns from the 18th century.
Yeah, let's go back to that, is what I'm saying.
Bring one of those bad boys back to the 18th century, and you'll be perfectly prepared.
Weaponry, right? Let's keep the safety equipment and just bring back the weaponry.
You know how chainmail was particularly good against like bows and arrows and stuff? Can we not figure out some nonsense like that, but for bullets, where it's like, oh, did you know that if you make armor out of like triangles, the bullets just kind of bounce off?
I mean,
I don't know if that works that way, but you know.
What? No, that's just not. But okay, so that's not literally what I mean. I'm just saying that's like a hypothetical. But in theory,
Okay.
it could work. Have
mean,
you
that's
ever
kinda
been
way-
shot by triangle chainmail?
Can I ask?
Have I been
Grant,
shot
have you ever
by
shot through
triangular
before?
chainmail?
Triangular
Have I
chainmail
ever
is
shot
my
through
triangular
chainmail?
chainmail is my it's my street name.
And
Triangular Chainmail is my indie album name.
That's really
sick.
good.
Anyways, Grant, have you ever
if I
shot through a chainmail before?
no, but that sounds like it'd be fun.
I feel like if I
You
was
can't
if I had to
shoot through
take
chainmail. That doesn't make any sense.
But what if I
Yes, you can, Zach. The arrow goes through the holes in the chainmail.
if
That's
I
a
get
really
a really small arrow?
That's
yeah,
an inconveniently thin arrow.
but then it goes right through you.
Was that an Italian arrow? Was it an angel hair arrow?
Yes.
Angel Harrow?
Oh.
Oh, now Mikey's trying to be funny.
Oh, isn't it funny?
Great, thanks for
What did
taking my
Mikey
job.
say?
I'm laughing because I'm looking at a video of some guy shooting through chainmail, and the first minute and a half minutes him beefing all his shots and missing the chainmail completely.
Nice. Good for him.
Oh, it's pretty funny.
We're going. We're going.
Leaving.
Leafing. We gotta be getting close. I don't remember
I'm a believer.
I don't remember all of the things that are left to pick up.
Got a trace.
'Cause that's one.
I've got in my mind. Ooh.
Why are you?
We are
Molly?
flawless.
Oh, Zach, I don't know about this one.
Rick! I
Okay.
got it down in
Maybe
my
Zach's
mind!
face cam is doing something to all of us.
Saba.
Saba.
What do you want?
Saba, I turned myself into a pickle.
Why are you Solid Snake? Saba. I've turned myself into a pickle.
That's the nicest thing you've said to me in a long time, Adrian. I could be a voice actor. It's true.
Oh yeah.
Snake, it seems like you've turned yourself into a pickle.
Snake? Seems like you turned yourself into a pickle. That's what
Snake.
fuck, what's his name? It's not Ocelot.
Otacon?
Ocelot's the other guy. Yeah, Otacon,
Otacon.
thank you.
Yeah.
That's what Otacon sounds like in my mind. Snake?
Otacon. I've turned myself into a pickle.
Prick.
Sprigatino?
Oh,
You're standing
Oh.
up.
don't you dare!
Oh my god. You know what I was just thinking?
Sprigatito, we're standing up.
If they do end up turning Sprigatito
Will
into
chainmail you to the next dimension, Grant.
if they do end up taking Sprigatito and turning it into like a bipedal
A
female
Zorro
cat,
cat.
people are absolutely going to just call it Sprigatitty.
Probably.
I mean, but
Is
its
that
name
already
changes.
a thing? Mikey, you're a
Its name
furry.
would
Tell me if
change,
that's
right?
already a thing.
But Zach, but it's still it would be changed the name. So I don't know how much that'd work.
That's true.
Unless they have a Tito still in the name, you know.
Brigabipedal.
Wouldn't that be funny if that was Sprigatbipedal? That'd be really funny if that's the part of the name that sticks throughout all the evolutions is Tito.
But Tito, I think maybe in Italian kind of
Brigatito,
means small.
Bushel Tito.
I've seen Sprigatito in diapers. I'm pretty sure they've drawn them with tits. It's Pokemon. That's what happens. All right, you
But
know
yeah,
what?
so
Let's take a
if
second
Tito
to look at
kinda
Mikey's
means
funny.
small, I think
Mikey, why
I
did
think it
you
would
post
probably-
Hot Pocket in a diaper?
That's Sprigatito.
That is Sprigatito.
oh,
There he is. It's him.
help me! I want to waste
Sprigaburrito.
I would do
Oh.
Sprigaburrito is just made out of mint Sprigatitos.
I cry on
bet
the
it-
inside.
Is that- does that count as vegan?
Your voice.
You know what? That's true. If you eat a grass type Pokemon, are you still vegetarian?
I think
Because like the whole point of
Oh.
like being a vegan, let's say, right, which is not the same as a vegetarian, but they're essentially just as annoying. So when you're a vegan, the whole idea is like I don't want to kill something that had a life, right? So I gotta eat rocks. But then you think about it, and it's like,
Geodude.
and it's like most Pokemon
shit.
are just things that are alive.
Or
Could
on.
you imagine somebody who is desperate enough and they try to eat a Pokeball, and then the Pokeball looks at them and goes Voltorb?
No.
I'd be like, oh,
See, the
fucking
thing is,
damn
I
it.
feel like Sprigatito, okay, is like a cat, right? For sure. I'm
Yeah, but
looking
if
at
you
him like,
cut
okay, that's got
Sprigatito
like.
open, does it turn into
Just let me-
salad
let
or
me finish
steak?
talking! You let me finish talking, sir, and I will explain. So Sprigatito, I think, is like
If I put ranch,
meat
no, I'm just
based,
kidding.
and then, but then like if you look at is it cherubi, right? Like I think that's just like a berry, right? Like that
With a
I
berry.
feel like I'm more
Can
convinced
you
could just
pop
be like
a
fruit.
cherubi?
I don't.
Yeah. You could pop anything.
You perform surgery on a cherubi?
Sure, you could just pop
They
people
performed
too.
surgery on cherubi. Because I'm thinking about it, and it's like if I have like Twin Needle, right? Let's say I'm a Pokemon and I have Twin Needle, and I just shoot at a cherubi, won't it just burst with juice? Is that how berries work? What are berries?
Oh, juicy cherubi.
What?
Berries
Can I
aren't just like
mention-
balloons, right? They have like stuff
No.
in them.
Yeah.
What's the
Can I
stuff
mention the-
inside of a fruit called? That's not the
Flesh.
juice.
The flesh.
Flesh.
It's called. I thought the flesh was the outside, or is that the rind?
No,
That's
that's
a rind.
You,
got opposite.
you just it's called the
That
rind. You just
motherfucking
said
rind.
so the flesh is the inside.
Okay,
Oh,
so a fruit is
24/7,
made of
that's
three
single
parts. It's
set.
the rind, the flesh, and then the juice.
Do all things have rinds though?
Can I?
You
love
have a
rind.
rind.
Is it a skin? Or sometimes they
There's-
say like
Listen, there's pork
things have
rind. That's a
skin.
meal.
Ah, that's not a meal. That's
Wow, it really is synonymous with people. Like,
Can I-
like they say the skin of like a zucchini or something like that. I think if it's like thicker, then it starts to become like a rind. But man, there's a lot of
I would like to
Don't
point out how
know.
fucked up it is that soft boiled is a move in Pokemon that just happens.
It
Like, not
heals.
only does Chansey give you her egg, she literally somehow internally soft boils it to the point where it's edible. Presumably
Soft
peels
boil-
it so you can eat it and then gives it to you.
Soft boil should definitely be a fire type move. Like fire water. Like how
Probably,
is
yeah.
soft boil?
Fire
I guess
water.
it's
water type one.
I guess it's different on purpose, but like I think about it, and it's like
Well, Scald is a
Scald-
water type move.
well, that's what I was about to say. Scald should be fire water, as should soft boil. Also, is there not a move called hard boil?
No.
Why?
It's just shittier
Because-
soft boiled.
Because Zach.
No, because like soft boil heals you. Hard boil should just give you like 2
Oh.
random stats plus 1.
No, it
It should
turns
just
it
be an
into
egg you
it.
throw at the enemy.
No, yeah, I was like, it turns it into an explosive.
No.
Hard boiled should give Chansey a detective's hat and a cigar and turn them black and white.
Yeah, Chansey's like, I've seen some things in my time.
If
Yeah,
you
it takes a
could,
deep kind of
if
cigarettes.
you could be the official voice of one Pokemon on the anime, what would it be?
No clue. There's too many for me to think.
Thanks, Saba. That's really good content.
Yeah, whatever. You guys can do
I
it. Give me
would want to
answers.
be the official voice of Gardevoir just to piss people off.
That's so, oh man, I want to springboard off that and say I want to be Salazzle or Lopunny.
I was
I
gonna
would
say, the
wanna
Gardevoir
be-
shows up on screen. It's like, Gardevoir, you evolved
If
from
the-
Curlia, finally! And I just go,
This is the
Gardevoir!
Then I will be. What is it? Is it Machamp?
You would be
Machamp?
Machamp, but with like the
Machamp.
most
This
like
is
the
Machamp.
most like high pitched, adorable voice you could possibly muster.
I still to this day I go back
Unless
to the
you're best
Pokemon
Machamp.
thing of you being Teddy Ursa with your high pitched
Oh.
voice, and then me coming in
Upstage
Ursaring.
exact.
Like octaves higher.
It was so fucking funny.
I would want to be the voice of Sprigatito, so I could be like, "Hey guys, it's me, Sprigatito. I'm gonna stand up now."
Quest.
And that would be his call. So yeah.
Apparently, for Mikey, I am synonymous with Eevee. Like, nothing else.
I can't imagine why.
I can't
doesn't make
imagine
sense.
why.
I'm trying to think. What else
Are you
would be?
past
What else would be
Pokemon?
great?
Personas.
Mikey, huh? Are you saying? What are you saying?
I would love to do like Porygon or whatever, just like Porygon 1, and I would just do my really bad like, oh jeez, oh
Porygon 1.
no. Well, I mean, he should effectively be called Porygon 1 at this point, to be fair.
No, you're right, but
Data.
I'm just trying to imagine Porygon with that voice.
Oh jeez.
I think there
Dude,
needs to be a
could you
joke
imagine-
with Porygon where one of them just disappears.
Could you imagine a baby evolution for Porygon called Porygon Beta that's like unfinished?
Oh, and then a
It's
pre-evolution to the
single,
pre-evolution
like,
called
plane.
Porygon Alpha.
Yeah.
Nice.
What if that was the next, like, after the next upcoming one, Blaze and whatever, what if the next Pokemon game was Pokemon Beta, Pokemon Alpha, where it's just one of them's, like, distinctly less finished than the other one, and that's the difference?
What if
You mean Legends Arceus?
What if,
Yeah, but that was a
I
twin
don't
game.
know how this would be shown visually, but what if one of them was named Porymon?
Like Digimon?
I'm about to say it's the
I don't know,
Digimon
or even
crossover,
Pokemon.
apparently.
Or even Pokemon, whatever it is, it just like
It would be
starts looking like a Nintendo DS or
Porymod.
something.
And the whole thing is that people figured out how to hack into their Porygons to mod them.
Oh my god.
And
that'd
it's
be
beyond
sick.
nightmarish. Get him!
I cried.
Fucking get him, dude! Come on! Kill him! Yeah! Good job. Good job, everybody. I'm proud. A bunch of you definitely didn't need to die, but I did it anyway.
No. Mario.
You're giving Mario sensory overload. Why would you
Thanks to
do
Nag
this?
Luma Technologies, new to Unreal Engine 5. Stop, he's overwhelmed.
Stop it! No!
I'm having a panic attack.
I am having a panic
Mario.
attack. Oh my god!
Luigi, get me the ivermectin.
Luigi,
no.
get me the lunch bag.
Definitely not what you should use for a panic attack, by the way.
Why? It gives you brain damage.
Ivermectin is used to treat, like, parasites.
Who?
Okay, never mind.
Where are we?
Let's bring
Oh
up
my God,
another
the
random
first-
topic. We only have 20
Who
minutes
are
until
we?
Grant
Who
leaves.
am I?
The first search Google,
there
the
we
first Google search result for ivermectin is why you should not use ivermectin to treat or prevent COVID-19.
Well, yeah,
I heard there's
it's
like
a
other
horse
uses
dewormer.
for. No, I heard there's
Yeah.
like another use, like a people use for ivermectin, but it's also I
Yes,
think
it's-
is like you said parasites maybe.
It's used to treat roundworms, threadworms, and other parasites.
Yeah,
I'm
so
pretty-
I don't think that's what COVID is. So
What do you mean? It's a little
not.
bug that's in my body, isn't it?
a virus.
Could you imagine if, depending on the severity of your sickness, if you had a... Oh, that's why they can't move it, because there's a red guy that keeps trying to help. My bad. What if whenever you got sick, there was physically a, like, gross bug-like creature in your body with size and strength proportionate to how severe your illness was?
What's he doing in there? Make himself comfortable?
Fucking shit up.
Normally he just gets in there until he gets too big and too hungry and just kills you, right? But if you're like an intrepid fellow, you can try to exercise the bug by fighting it in hand-to-hand combat. But the thing is that
This
under
spells at
most
work.
circumstances, the bug knows you better than you do.
I was gonna say, do I have to fucking Miss Wiz's magic school bus down into myself?
Yeah.
No, you just have to challenge him in single combat, and then he comes out with boxing gloves.
So
Wait, he gets
So is he
boxing gloves?
small?
No,
He
like I said,
grows to the
his size
size
and
of you
strength is
proportional.
proportionate to how severe the illness is. So if you have
Oh.
like a common cold, it's not that bad. You might get it, like he might punch you in the jaw once or twice. But if it's like cancer, it comes out of your mouth and it's the size of a building and it just instantly kills you.
I thought you meant he was like in me.
Dang.
Yeah, he is in you.
But he comes out when you challenge him.
Yeah.
So does he grow bigger when he comes out?
Yeah, it's like a cartoon.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that he stayed the same size in both cases.
No. He gets bigger.
Okay, so but if he's in me, then he's just what, using my kidneys as like punching bags?
Yeah,
Stuff like that.
He's like doing like the
meat
speed
walker.
pad where he's doing like the fist in a circle against my kidneys, like.
Okay, I need to.
He's
I need
doing
to
that.
address
He's
Mikey's
squeezing
thing
your
after.
bladder.
Hurry up.
He's like doing that to my uvula, and then he's using my kidney bags as like sleeping bags.
Kidney bags. What was
My
the
kidney
thing?
bags.
What were you gonna? Yeah, what were you
Yeah,
gonna say?
phone stores.
Oh,
You-
Saba
she was at those,
obviously
right?
wants to answer Mikey's question, and I don't
Yeah.
know if I'm gonna let her.
What? What's the question?
I can type it. He's wondering what the dawn of means. Like
Oh.
why did I choose the dawn of? Which I already kind of answered this question prior, being like,
Yeah,
it's-
Mikey.
it's honestly whatever I want, right? Normally, like, you hear something like, oh, it's the dawn of the dinosaurs, or it's like the dawn of whatever, and I was like, you know what?
So,
I can choose to make it whatever I want, so I'll just put it the dawn of and then add whatever I want afterward.
Saba has been in some ancient circles to hear someone say, "Oh, it's the dawn of the dinosaurs."
I know, right?
Just casually.
Pretty good. I hear
Pretty
Zach
weird.
say it constantly.
I don't
So, I
say
know
it.
it's work.
I don't say it constantly ever. I think that's the
No.
first time I just said it.
Zach says the
Dawn of the
constant.
Sabosaurus. That's so good, actually. That's a really good name.
Regardless, hopefully that's answered your question.
Saba has the
Hey.
humor of a dinosaur.
Can I just say real
You
quick?
look like a dinosaur.
Thanks, that's cool as fuck.
Can I say just barely even
didn't decide
tangenting
what
off
dinosaur.
that? I've never seen a movie title that has more rhythm and more repetition than Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Obviously you're allowed to have your own opinion, but I would like to say I think that's terrible.
No, you're right. It's a bad title, but it does
Okay.
have rhythm and like
Just say
rhyme in it.
rhythmically.
Rhythmically, yeah.
Rhythmically, it makes me want to cry.
Oh yeah, also Mikey, my like pen online name is also Dawn, so it also makes sense like that, so.
Hence
Yeah.
why Evie was named Dawn.
Hence why a lot of my stuff is Dawn. Like, what is it? Like I said, my pen name is
Oh,
Dawn.
I fucking
so
shattered him. What the fuck?
other for other reasons. And plus, like half the time, right? Whenever people usually like talk to you, if you have like a username,
People talk to you? No one ever
no,
talks
that's
to me.
typing.
Waiting.
You're right, that's typing. Sorry, I need to be specific. But like they usually like we call him Mikey instead of Mikey, his full thing, right? Mikey Reem. I don't know how to say
Mikey
the last part,
Renee.
but whatever. Whatever. So like the dot of it, just once again, people just focus on the name, easily pick apart name thing, which is just Dom, which I'm like still works. Everything works in my favor. I have planned this out perfectly.
Except the fact that
All
people go,
according to
why is your name
K-Condu."
like that?
Hey, it invites a conversation, which is good.
Do you really
That's
want to
true.
have that conversation again and
I
again
will
and
say it
again
as
and
many
again?
times as it needs to be said, Zach.
Why-
Just because you don't have the patience doesn't mean
I want to go back to fighting disease.
But like fighting, like throwing hands with disease.
Yeah, like literally throwing hands. Like I'm gonna
So, like,
fucking
cells at
elbow
work
drop.
type.
I'm gonna elbow drop tuberculosis.
But like,
I-
I have
aren't we-
tuberculosis.
What would Zach be in the
Do you
body?
not have a TB shot?
Yeah, dude. If you have a shot, does that mean like you get an extra
mercenary.
weapon in the fight,
If
or like you get a
if you were
homie?
already immunized against a disease, when he
have a
comes
second
out,
phase?
he is forced to hand you your own set of boxing gloves or whatever. It becomes a
Oh, I
more
was hoping you
even
would-
playing field, except he has been using this for a long time, and you are just a pathetic human.
Well, I was gonna say
I was
by
hoping
the
you would get
analogy
it.
of how vaccines work, wouldn't that mean that I get to like study all his fight scenes and like I get a bunch of like VCRs of like here's some old VCRs to play, the VCR players still have, and I get to watch his old tapes of him boxing other people.
You bring up a really good point, and I will say that that the medical board approves of this. But the only distinction is that while you do get to watch all of the VHS tapes of his old fights, you have to watch them in Rocky montage form, but you are actively perceiving it like a real person. So you don't actually get to watch all of them. You get to watch them in montage form. Because we gotta get this shit underway. The disease is very busy.
If
Killing
the
you.
disease is very busy. I mean, if this were true, I'd really love to see Muhammad Ali fight Parkinson's.
Oh, that's a good one.
Can we just fight cancer? What about cancer overall? I think he would take it out pretty easily.
Cancer?
is a
But he didn't have
full war.
cancer.
Muhammad Ali had Parkinson's?
He had Parkinson's, yeah.
Yeah, he died with it.
I thought he just had like brain goo or whatever.
That was a thing turning his brain to goo.
The notorious, disease, brain goo.
There's a part of the Red Cross training that we've had to go through so far. A big part of it has been eligibility. The idea of like someone calls in and they ask like, hey, can I donate? And I have to go yes, no, based on these like, it's like a fucking 250 page document. It's insane. But anyway.
I already know. The answer to me would be no, because I think I'm too short.
That's not how that works.
Donate.
But the one of the things, it has its own entire document. So it's called, so the disease is officially anachronized as CVJD. Does anybody know what that is? Has anyone heard of that before?
No.
Okay.
Chronic vaginal.
It's not
juice.
vaginal. It is.
you sure?
You've probably heard it by its much more common name, known as mad cow disease.
Oh.
That is understandable. Yeah, I've heard
So
of that.
the thing is, and the reason why it blows my fucking mind, the like criteria that come that are relevant to mad cow disease are first off, if you are sick with mad cow disease, it is impossible to know if like to be diagnosed until they take a slice of your brain and test it. And under almost universal circumstances, that means you're already dead.
Yikes.
Not only that,
Nice.
but it is wildly transmissible, and it just so happens to, it's a disease of like the DNA, like it's part, like it taps into like genetic code and stuff like that. And so specifically because of that nightmarish scenario, it is even more transmissible to family members and offspring.
Good
Nice.
Lord.
Even better.
And it's like it's awful, and that sort of thing where it's like, okay, well then what do we do in order to tell whether or not someone has mad cow disease? Well, there was apparently a like 40-year period of time where if you existed in the European Union period, if you lived in the European Union for a grand total of at least 3 years across that entire time frame, you're just fucked. You could have mad cow disease and it would just kill you one day. One of the people that was in the training with us, she was talking about how her uncle died of mad cow disease. She was talking about how he died, and it was like, it wasn't like a thing where he got sick and then was in the hospital and then like this, that, and the other thing. Nah, she described it as like, yeah, one day he was fine and the next day he just keeled over dead.
Oh, that's
Well, that's
unfortunate.
And it's like,
terrifying.
apparently that's just what mad cow, apparently like legitimately what mad cow disease does is it just kind of, it just sets up, it's the Batman of diseases, where it just does fucking decades of prep and then just
Batman.
instantly kills you.
Oh dear.
It cashes in on
Good
all that
God.
gray health damage that it did to you over the years, and you're just gone. And it's like, man, that's upsetting.
Yeah.
Though I'm pretty sure, like, if they do detect it, right, then they can just be like, no. You could be like, don't, whatever.
You
Like, they
can't
have a
detect.
connection.
You cannot detect it. Period.
No, once they're dead, you said.
Yeah, but what do you want to do after they're dead?
Well, like, you can brand, like, if it's like passed down or whatever, you have like a map then ish.
Oh, sure. Yeah, like Rick, the guy who's like the head of the training thing. He told the story of a great grandfather in a family died of mad cow disease, and the entire family, it was like 13 people total, were very avid for their entire life blood donation people, and it's mad cow disease is transmissible by blood. And apparently it was the sort of thing where it's like that was the equivalent of a nuclear explosion that went off in the DCSC, where it was just like fucking 50% of everybody in that building for weeks and weeks and weeks was just trying to locate and recall their blood, because anybody who received any of those transfusions could be dead. It's
That's
like,
unfortunate.
God.
Yikes.
Well, if they're already dead, do a transmutation circle and bring them back. Well, we only have so many arms and legs at the DCSC. We can't do that.
Unfortunate.
Do be like that sometimes.
Yeah. Learned about that
hungry.
yesterday, and it fucking blew my mind. It's like, really? That's what mad cow disease is? I thought it just was angry cow.
Apparently not.
I'm hungry for food, so I'm gonna go forage for it in the Mad Cow Disease Hospital.
Oh, okay. Have fun.
Later, guys.
Goodbye.
It's just gonna be me and Saba in 7 minutes.
Oh, God.
We'll have a good time. It'll be fine.
Cut to like 10 minutes after I leave, where you're screaming at each other like a foxes and dogs all over again.
I mean,
I'm
given
just not as entertaining by myself. Did you just start that sentence? What did you just start that sentence off with?
who, me or you?
Who are you talking to?
This is what I'm fucking talking about. This is what it's like talking to Saba. She just says words, and like clearly there's an entire like 50% of the
That's
sentence
going on in my brain.
that Saba has said to herself, and it's just like, I don't know who the fuck you are.
Yeah, this is why, like I said, I'm just
I'm Sprigatito.
Let's see. Okay, Mikey's like, no, hear me out. Transmutation circle. The person is back alive, and the prosthetic limb companies get more money. Everybody wins.
I don't know about that. Are you evil?
You have to tell me.
You have
if
to
you're
tell us
evil.
if you're evil, Mikey. That's the law.
That is indeed a law.
Yeah.
You know what, Saba? You should do both of us a little bit of a favor, since you do need
Oh my god.
time. Since you do need time more often than not in order to think of, like, you know, banter. Why don't
Yeah,
you
I'm
take
not
this
funny
opportunity
naturally.
now to go through banter topics and
I already have a banter I'm thinking about. 'Cause
right?
I put one on there.
But I need you to know, if it's not a fucking 10 out of 10, you're fired.
Yikes! No, I'm maybe
You're
fired.
fired. Damn.
Sorry, I think
You're turning your badging gun.
turn in my.
Oh, Grant, before you leave, I want to talk about, because I know you said you didn't really watch the closing episodes or the closing seasons of regular show. But
Yeah.
man, I really want to gush about Mordecai and CJ again, because it's just like, once again, they're fictional characters. They're not real. You can write them to be a good couple or a bad couple, but it's really nice because it's not like
Refreshing.
it's refreshing. That's a really good way of putting it, because it's just like, it's not like, because there was a period of time in like season 2 and like half of season 3 where Mordecai and I think her name was Marceline. I don't remember her name,
Margaret.
but Margaret. Thank you. Marceline's the vampire queen. I forgot.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Wait a minute.
But there was a period of time where the two of them were being really flirtatious, and it was cute, but it was the sort of thing where it was like they were clearly doing a will they, won't they sort of arc. And I'm like, dude, I'm so fucking tired of that story arc of like, I want people to either be dating or to get the fuck over it, like really quick. And that's exactly what it was with Mordecai and CJ, because she was super into him, he was super into her, and literally every episode that they were in together, they were crazy supportive of each other, and it was just lovely, like just thoroughly. And I just wanted to gush about it because I'm like, man, I'm really glad about that. And then the most recent episode I watched before stream today was a little disappointing because they threw a monkey wrench into the whole thing because Margaret came back. She like left to go to college, and she came back, and apparently she still had a lot of feelings for Mordecai. And there was like this like really romantic song playing in the background that a different character was trying to use to finally get a kiss from Rigby. And instead of it like hypnotizing Rigby, it hypnotized Mordecai and Margaret. And so they ended up kissing in front of CJ. And I'm like, enough of this drama, please.
Stop.
They were so good together. You don't need to do this.
God.
Anyway.
End of that.
Yeah, I just wanted to gush about it because there are 6 seasons of regular show, and I am on season 6, episode like fucking 3 or whatever, and it's like, it's great. I love it.
Nice.
Is it perfect? No. Is it as good as it could have been given the era? Absolutely.
That's good.
Yeah, I highly recommend seasons 4, 5, and 6 because that's when I stopped watching the show. I just kind of like dropped off, and 4, 5, and 6 are by far the best seasons. They're really good.
Oh wow.
Anyway, that was that.
Show. Okay. Regular show.
Regular show. Get him. Fucking whoop him.
Get his
Fucking whoop
ass.
him, dude. Fucking whoop him. Get him. No, don't get eaten. Just whoop him.
don't die, just kill them.
That's what I've been saying for years. Oh, there's flying ones that are gonna be coming in. Okay.
Hey, nice.
All right, I got 10 of these guys, so I'm gonna just
Whoop 'em.
fucking whoop them. I wonder, I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this in an hour, but if I get close, because we're definitely not going to be able to fill an entire show tomorrow. What should we play tomorrow? I guess we move. I guess we move on to Wonderful 101.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, no, I want
Oh,
Lawrence to be
shit.
there because Lawrence is a good hype man. Lawrence and Grant are really good hype men, and I want them there.
Thank you. How long, or I guess I'll look it up, but how long does it take to beat Wonderful 101?
Only it's very short. It's a platinum game.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's a platinum game.
Oh, shit. I mean, let me check Wonderful
So you know it's going to
101.
be cool as fuck, but also not a lot of content. But also
15
an enormous
hours?
amount of content? Would you say 15 hours?
Yeah.
So that's 5 independent streams, so that's like 2.5 weekends, right?
Probably.
No one
It's
ever
shorter
had
than the
Rose
following game,
Tea.
Professor Layton.
Sad.
Wait, Professor
What was
Layton's a
it?
short game?
It's shorter than, it says 13 and a half, but if we're doing voice acting, then obviously it's going to be longer.
I was thinking about it. I think that since Minish Cap doesn't really have a special place in anybody's heart, I think we're gonna skip. I think we're gonna skip Minish Cap, and instead of doing Minish Cap, I think we're gonna do SCP.
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice.
Because I was thinking about it, and it's like, you know what? I really want to do SCP. I'm pretty sure you guys really want to do SCP.
SCP.
Fucking kill him. Got him.
Get his ass. All right.
Goodbye,
with that,
Grant.
Goodbye.
See you tomorrow.
Later.
Don't. Fuck. I forgot to remind. I just wanted. Hey, Saba, if you remember, remind me to remind Grant that we have a meeting with Olivia after stream on Sunday.
Oh God, I will probably forget, but let me just put it on.
The thing is
on air.
that I don't actually need you to remember. I just need to remember that I reminded you to remind me of something, and that's good enough.
Okay, well, if that's how it works, then
That's
sure.
actually exactly how it works. I do that to my mom all the time, where I'll be like, "Hey, Mom, can you remind me to do like X, Y, and Z?" And she's like, "No, I'll never remember that." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's not the point. The point is that I need
Makes
you to remind. I
sense.
need me to remind me." Oh. You know what? Get over there. All right, Saba. What's your banter topic?
Okay, so It was just a little thing I was thinking of where
It either needs to be a quaint topic or a 10 out of 10.
I think quaint may fit more quaint. But Lawrence was saying, right, he was like, I'm taking a break off of like for mental health
He's taking a mental
reasons.
health day.
Which, in my mind, I'm like, the statement itself, him doing it or saying that is not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that it's interesting because I think for the most part, if what he meant to say, but like if in reality he's just like, I'm feeling tired today, I don't particularly want to do stream. Like, I don't understand why it feels like that phrase in of itself has been replaced with for mental health reasons, which I don't think is the same thing. Like, I think when you say like, I've got like mental health things that I want to do, normally in my mind it like implies something like heavier, stronger.
Well, I mean, he also, because maybe it's not just that he's tired. Maybe because apparently he's been doing a lot of commissions, and also we've been really giving him the business on stream recently.
Well, yes, but remember, I just said this is detached from like his personal reason. But like I feel like the like, oh, I'm just tired has been like replaced kind of by that, and it's just interesting to me to be like, yeah, why don't I just like hear nowadays being like, I'm a bit tired, I don't want to like do it, or like I don't think I'll be on stream today because I'm feeling a bit out of it, right? Like it's interesting that like those kinds of phrases feel like they've been like replaced, which kind of same with, I feel like the more, I don't want to go into that one, but it's like the same thing with like, there's certain phrases like tomboy. Like I don't hear these phrases anymore, but I don't think like what they're attributed to has gone away. And also, I would say,
definitely
I think
not for
best...
like tomboy. It just got like more context and a new name.
But that's the thing. I don't think I think tomboy or whatever, like the original word, not because of like the parts of the word itself, but like whatever meaning it had, fit the best. So it feels weird to how we've like shifted to something which I think does us less service.
And I don't necessarily, I guess I don't necessarily feel the same as you do, because it's like I hear tomboy frequently. I guess it's just the type of people that you might be talking to.
Okay, once again, yeah, maybe the tomboy, remember, I'm not talking specific, it just feels like there are certain words
Wait,
have
then
replaced
what are you
other
talking
words.
about, Saba? You keep bringing up specific, because it seems like what the actual topic here
bringing up
is
examples, but
it feels like the actual topic that you're trying to bring up here is that, well, we already had phrases for these things. Why did we need to have new phrases?
yeah, or why did they like switch to something else? And to which I'm like, it feels like the original phrase has better, not meaning, but it did a better job of doing what it was intended of doing, rather than these like new words that we've replaced them with. And that's why I was like, mental health issues it's almost like an umbrella term. Versus like if you just say I'm feeling tired today,
mental
like,
health day specifically has a lot more, has a lot more oomph to it, I would definitely say, to the point where like I feel like in the modern day you could go to your boss and be like, hey, I need to take a mental health day, and they'll be like, okay, that's fine, I'll give you the day off. Whereas if you say to your boss, hey, I'm tired, they're gonna say, get over it, come to work.
Well, okay, I guess in like other contexts, like I understand that, but it's like I feel like if someone were to just say I'm feeling a bit tired today, we would have a complete understanding of like, yeah, sure, like take off like the time you need, right? But it's like, because it's also like for the boss thing, right? It's because if you say mental health, right, is that there are implications of more serious things, right? And I think under no obligation, I don't actually even know, but I don't think they can be like, you have to tell me what it is specifically, right? All they know is that because mental health has like a seriousness to it, like if it could be potentially serious, it's better to be safe than sorry, I guess, from at least the boss perspective.
Sure. And then so why wouldn't you, because like I don't necessarily agree with the idea. I think that I don't, how do I explain this? I don't think that people aren't saying that they're tired anymore. I just think that people are saying more, like people are just using the phrase mental health day more. It's not like a lessening of the original. It's just a new thing showed up, and now there's two things that have similar usage, I guess.
I guess then it's
I don't think it necessarily replaced anything.
The thing is new, and it's just happening more. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know if it's necessarily appropriate, but I would probably call it like recency bias. Like, it's a new thing that people can use, so, you know, people want to use it.
But maybe that's the thing. Maybe I've been so, like, surrounded by it, right, that I'm like, well, in places where I think, like, other things could be used, people just default to that. I start to feel like...
Which is fine, because you even described it as an umbrella term, which not only, like... Because umbrella terms are particularly useful because you don't have to think about what your specification is. All you need to know is like, hey, I need a mental health day. And that's like the extent of like what you need to know.
Even for like yourself, right? Wouldn't it be more beneficial to know what like even like the particular thing is?
Sure, but is that really important to convey in this particular conversational sense? And by this particular, I don't mean this. I mean like the royal particular, if that makes any sense.
Like, I guess it feels weird because on one end, right, it's kind of like the thing of like, it's so general that I can't tell whether or not when you say it to me, you're just saying it because you know you can get away with what it is, or there's actually something more serious there.
But that's just how a lot of language works, right?
Well, and maybe that's why I'm saying like, well, maybe
I just think that the term is so.
If you're tired, say you're tired.
I think the term is so new that you haven't necessarily internalized the other context clues that may, like, because if someone says I'm tired, guess what? That's also an umbrella term. There's a million reasons why someone could be tired, whether it be mental or physical or what have you. But you're just better at, but you're just more practiced at identifying the causes of their exhaustion, whereas you're not necessarily well versed at the moment with why someone might be like, why this particular individual might be taking a mental health day. And that's not a knock against you, that's just because it's recent.
Well, yeah, but then as you know, though, like, it's way bigger of an umbrella than rather just saying, like, I'm tired. There's, like, limitations to, like, I'm tired is probably, as you just said, either mental or, like, physical. You don't really have too much else outside of that scope. But, like, mental health is, like, the entire field. It could encompass the entire field of, like,
well,
more psychological. I
actually kind of
like,
disagree because it's like, if someone, well, okay. Because like when someone says that they're taking a mental health day, that is obviously very specifically mental health. That is what that phrase says, so that is what it means, right?
But mental health is big.
Like, well, mental health is big, but then but mental health doesn't necessarily need to be like exhaustion. It can be, and I'm getting, and this is what I'm getting at, where it doesn't necessarily need to be exhaustion or anything like that. It can also be, you know, anxiety or stress or this, that, or the other thing. Whereas if someone says I'm tired, it could be mental or physical, in which the mental health day has no physical component theoretically. Like, you do it in a physical sense, but it's not about your physical health, it's about your mental health, right?
No, I know, and I guess...
So your statement of you think that I'm tired is a lesser umbrella, like a smaller umbrella than mental health, I also disagree with that. I think they're both relatively equal umbrella terms that just so happen to have an overlap, but they cover different areas, you know?
And it could be, you know, I guess it's just ultimately if I were to hear someone saying like, oh, I'm like a little bit tired today, right? I feel like I understand more than just them saying mental health.
Right, which once again, I'll reiterate, I'm pretty sure is just because you're more familiar with that, you know? You're more familiar with someone saying, I'm tired, as opposed to someone saying, I need a mental health day. Eventually, like, I don't know, 4 years down the line, you'll probably get a lot better at identifying what someone means when they say, I need a mental health day.
And I think that's interesting because I feel like, once again, I don't know what like Lawrence is specifically like dealing. He's probably overwhelmed with like certain stuff, right? But it's just like in my mind, I'm like, why not?
Yeah.
Why not go with just saying like I'm feeling tired, rather than just saying mental health?
Because it's probably more than just being tired.
Maybe, but I'm saying, like, the interesting thing is, like, what if it isn't, though? Like, what if the term mental health has just replaced that phrase?
But now you're saying what if, and how can you really justify that?
No, well, yeah, but I'm wondering about reality.
In the hypothetical context where someone somewhere is saying, hey, I need a mental health day, and they might not be genuine with that, people can say that with I'm tired, too. They could say I'm tired when in actuality they just don't want to come into work today.
The thing is, I'm saying, like, I don't know if in reality this has actually happened or not. So even if I'm saying what if, it's also because I'm not sure whether or not it is true that reality is like this right now. So, like, I don't actually know. Did you see what happened
to the pink Pikmin when they got shot with the water? They had watery fire on their heads. Fire? Yeah. It was a little weird. Because these are the fire guys, but water instead of fire.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the same enemy type. So I guess they just changed the particle effect so that way it's fire instead. It just looked crazy is all.
Maybe because they were flying, maybe there was momentum to the water, so it like blew up.
No, because it was centered on their head, and there's like 3 of them, and each of them had their own thing on their head. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So anywho. I don't necessarily, once again, we have a lot, most of our, like, in-depth discussion like this between you and I are very frequently about, like, language and the context of what people say versus what they mean. And while I don't necessarily disagree with the principle of, you know, what you're getting at with all this, I do disagree with the idea of it being like, well, why don't they just say this? Well, people can say anything. Anything can mean anything.
Well, that's fine, but as you know,
I can say give me your lunch money when in actuality what I mean to say is I'm lonely and I feel better when I bully someone.
Sure, but as you know, certain phrases become more popular use-wise, and I'm wondering if that's like what has happened with this. And that's what it is. Yeah, trendy could be like the term too, but like it seems like people are more inclined to just say mental health rather than say the other stuff. If you know what I mean. Like
at the moment, I'm going to say maybe. Because obviously, I don't necessarily have the personal context to say yes or no to that, and I don't think that's really necessary for this. But at the same time, I don't know. Maybe it's an interesting thought. I'm not quite sure.
So that's just what I was thinking, and that's where kind of like if it is the case that is like correct, then I'm just like, oh, I feel a bit sad because I was like, you know, certain, like I said, other phrases I feel like would be more useful rather than just like now defaulting to just saying like, well, mental health reasons or something like that. But, you know,
once again, the implication that I'm tired is more useful than mental health day is arguable. In your opinion, it might be, but I argue that it's not.
Or maybe it just feels more direct. Like when you say like mental health, there's like once again, and you're just like, I know you disagree with me on like the umbrella-ness of it. But I guess like if I'm just told like, oh, I'm tired, I kind of don't want to do it versus like, well, I've got mental health stuff I'm dealing with. Like it just feels like the I'm tired feels more direct. Like you're telling me it directly versus like, I have something.
Well, because I think about it, I guess, and it's just like, oh look, they're skipping them off the water because they can't hold them.
That's pretty
cute.
Funny.
I don't know. I'm thinking about it, and it's just like, because I don't know. Like I say, I'm tired when I'm really depressed. You know what I mean? When in actuality, in that context, maybe I should say I need a mental health day. But what I do say is I'm tired because that's what people have been saying for like, decades.
Fatigue is associated with that though, so
sure, like, but it's still mental health. Wrong.
No, yeah. I'm saying like mental fatigue is like, as you said, like tired can be mental and physical.
So you know, once again, this particular thing I think boils down to the idea that for your particular circumstance, you don't necessarily have the context for, you know, what do they mean when they say this. And I think that's fine. You know?
I think maybe the term feels too broad to me. So maybe it may like never change.
I'm tired isn't. Like that's the only part of this that I'm like, really? I'm
I don't
tired
think
is
as
more
much.
specific than I need a mental health day. It's a little crazy to
And
me.
you know what? Maybe you have, or maybe you've dealt with more people who just use that as like a broad stroke thing, that are just like that they use it as like whatever. Whereas I guess maybe I'm going from like my own perspective of being like, I know certain days when I'm just not feeling up to it, I could just be, I would just say like
I'm tired.
I'm just a bit tired.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe that's where that comes to as well.
Both of these phrases have their uses, obviously. I think we can both agree to that. I think that's a pretty easy yes.
Yeah. So that was that. The only other thing which I was like frustrated with, this is separate, was that thing. So I was setting up, I was even saying the iPad that I gotten right, and it's just like, dang, I'd forgotten that like Android, iOS, and Apple work on separate servers, right?
Yeah.
So some data, they're like, oh, we're different. We can't transfer the data over. And I'm just like, that makes me angry. Like, frick you, Apple, for doing it on purpose. So you can drag people to working with just your own devices.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
Correct. It's annoying, and it's a shitty corporate practice. Yeah.
oh man, and I think it's unfortunate too, because I know I was asking my dad this too, but like I believe tablet-wise, Apple is more renowned for their tablets than like Samsung.
I would definitely agree with that. I think.
So like it's unfortunate, because it's like if you want the best of something, and it happens to be I don't want to say evil, but in my mind,
is pretty
the more
okay.
evil are.
Evil is
In
pretty
my
accurate.
mind, the frustrating to work with and more annoying software, whatever. It's just, I guess that's just sucky. Eh.
I don't really have anything else to say on that
No,
subject.
yeah, I just
Because
it was a grievance that I wanted to
is
share.
the quitessential. Yeah. Yes.
Because there was some I was
Apple
looking, because I
sucks,
was
who
like
knew?
I wanted to put, because I had some things on my phone which I was like, if they consume a lot of data and I don't use it too often, and maybe they would be nicer, like bigger, like if I had a bit visually bigger space to work with, and I was like, oh, it would have been nice if I could put those on the iPad and then get rid of them from my phone. Yeah, but I think the two specific things I went to, both of them were like, nah, fam, you'll have to restart on the iPad. And I was just like, frick you, Apple. I'll go to pear. I'd rather get the banana than the apple.
The banana.
So yeah.
There you go.
That was just annoying. Let's see if I can lower latency on this. Setting. Advanced. Wow. Even with low latency, because I'm on my computer now watching stream, you are still I'm quite far behind when you talk.
Yeah. You know, don't be. I have the stream set to 7 seconds, I think, is the delay.
Oh, well maybe, okay, if you have it actually set to something, maybe that's
7
it.
seconds is the lowest you can go. You cannot get faster than this.
Mm-hmm.
It is impossible. I assure you.
Oh, I would not disagree. You're more informed of the tech stuff than me.
Also, it's literally just a menu option where it's set, where the lowest option is 7 seconds. I think partners get a 3-second delay. They have access to that.
Okay.
But yeah. Anywho, all right, we're gonna go. I'm actually going to send Olimar over here. Remind me to grab Olimar in a second. No, wait a minute. Why are you still together? Fucking damn it. What the hell was that? The camera moved, dude. Come on. All right. Louis, you're gonna go and grab these guys. Thank you.
Well, I exhausted my one banter topic.
Okay.
Here we go. What else do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I can't see the list, Saba.
You want to look at the list? Do you want me to look at list? I can look list.
We've been doing this for how long?
I know, but half the time you're like, but I want other people here, and I'm like, I know. Same.
Yes. Correct.
Stealing Jesse's topic, what video games would actually make good movies and vice versa?
But you don't know video games. Do you know video games and movies? And riddle me this,
Says the person
Saba.
who was like, Saba, why do you know all these niche video games? I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but that's okay. Great. So for the purposes of this conversation, hey Zach, here are these really niche video games that no one fucking knows.
I'm familiar with the big general ones. I'm familiar with the big general ones.
And also, like 50% of the video games that you reference are actually
series.
just like licensed things, like Carmen Sandiego or Shrek.
No, I'm like, I know like the general stuff. Like I said, like I'm for this, maybe I think Resident Evil may make like a decent like TV show or something.
They already have 7 movies.
Okay, well, I don't.
This is what I'm talking
care about the movies.
Saba. You
I'm
can't be
familiar-
uninformed like
What do you
this.
mean? You just asked me about
You
video
don't
games.
know. In a
I'm
literal
familiar
sense,
with
it's
the
fine.
video games, not the movies.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Once again, I want to have this conversation. I think this would be a fun conversation. But you're gonna say crazy things like, you know what would be a good movie? Silent Hill.
Something that exists.
and then I'm gonna go, Saba, there were 3 Silent Hill movies. And then you're gonna be like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, guess what?
You're so
I know
mean.
you don't know. Because we've been hanging out like this for fucking 4 years or whatever.
Okay, fine. Let's go to Zoo Tycoon and PayPal.
I already talked about that one.
You forgot to unbutton it. What do you want from me?
You suck and I hate you.
Mario Galaxy on the DS?
Yeah, so this one was just more of a statement, just, kind of as we, have done in the past. There was a thing where, fans finally finished a multi-year long plan where they figured out how to port Mario Galaxy with full and complete functionality on the Nintendo DS. It is a ROM that you can download online. You can then put that ROM onto a, blank Switch cart or a DS cartridge, and you can then play the entirety of Mario Galaxy with no loss other than resolution, which is, the fault of the screen. And I think that is freaking incredible. And
I need to.
Sorry.
I was like, I need to remind myself sometimes that there are some older games that like I have easy access to actually because of like fan or whatever it is, like the Rune Factory I have for the Wii. Like I was looking at a video of someone kind of reviewing how the games were, and he's just like, yeah, I found it on the internet and I had easy access to it, and there's like a bunch of stuff that they allow you to do in game because in the actual game it's BS and it's really hard, so they just allow you to instantaneously do it in this like version. I'm just like, wow, that seems really nice.
So this particular topic kind of has a few spirals that go off of it, right? You're referencing piracy, which is, once again, I'm super supportive of most forms of piracy. I
don't even think you can play these games anymore though, so
right, which is
just
why piracy is okay in this context.
Yeah.
But the thing that I'm thinking about that makes this kind of weird to me, or not weird, I guess, but it's just like, first off, just in the specifics of Mario Galaxy on the DS. Obviously, it took several years for a bunch of fans to figure out how to do this, right?
Yeah.
But I think about it, and it's like, why can't Nintendo do this? I guess it's because it wouldn't make enough money, which is, reasonable. Like, that makes sense, right? I understand why Nintendo wouldn't fucking backport a video game to a console that no one plays anymore, right?
Yeah, they don't sell. They've reduced eShop for, so like that makes sense.
I completely understand why they wouldn't do this. But then you look at stuff where it's just like, I don't know, like there are pretty heavily substantiated rumors of Nintendo adding I gotta get over here. Of Nintendo adding Game Boy games emulated to the Switch eShop, right? Mm-hmm. And I think about it, and it's just like, based on the leaks, which are once again very heavily substantiated, it seems like hot trash, which is crazy to me because we've had a fucking top of the line, absolute prime stake Game Boy emulator since I was a freshman in high school. You know what I mean? And it's like, how does Nintendo not know how to emulate their own software? And it just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of drives me up a wall a little bit, because it's just like,
how are like people like fans doing it better than the company?
Yeah, how
that
are
made
fans
them?
doing it better than the company that is supposed to be, you know, the ones who made it? I mean, not even supposed to, like, they are. And I'm not necessarily saying that fans do it better. I'm saying, like, fans can do it, period, whereas Nintendo just seems incapable. You know what I mean? At least in this particular context.
I'm assuming you grabbed Olimar. I'm assuming this is Olimar.
This is Olimar right now.
Yeah, with the red light.
He has the red whistle and Louis has the blue, I think. Anywho, what the fuck? What was your plan, Louis? What were you gonna do? Here we go. We gotta get over here. All right, get over there. Fucking whoop him. Fucking whoop him, dude. And now I do have a tangential topic that's you know, similar to this, or springboards off of this, and we can keep talking about like the idea of like, man, fans of something are incredible, but designing by committee is often seen as a very, very, very bad thing, right? The idea that a creative team doesn't actually get the time and freedom, like creative freedom, that they deserve and need to get a project done to the best of its capabilities.
You mean within a team versus like?
I mean, so
like,
normally when people refer to designing by committee, it is corporate people, like marketing people, sitting in on creative decisions that they definitely should not be participating in. And that's normally what people refer to when they talk about designing by committee. But I think about it, and it's just like, when you have a unbelievably dedicated and passionate group of fans, they can create and design some of the most unbelievable stuff in the world, and it's literally by committee, because that's how many of them there are. You know what I mean?
I think one of the thing is, right, in, at least I'm taking your explanation of it, right, the marketing with like the design, right? I think in those kinds of cases, wait, I feel a sneeze coming.
You feel a sneeze coming.
Gone. Yeah, is that normally, like, I don't think what it is that the design committee having all the power and making all the decisions, right? It's more like being like marketing, being like,
they have to bow to marketing and stuff,
yeah. And I think if it was like vice versa, right, then that would make sense. If marketing worked off of like design, obviously there may be something being like, you're like feature creeping, right? Like it's just like improbable, like we don't have the money or whatever, right? Like that makes sense because there's like limits. But like if the design team had the power and then like the marketing were working off of them being like, that's a good idea, we can work with this,
there were
and we can market
so many
this.
enemies left. Dude, this level's hard. This post-game stuff is really difficult. You have to actually like be good at using Olimar and what's-his-face at the same time.
You probably have to actually run through the level once, probably.
Well, this is my second time doing it, and I'm still like not much further than I was before. Anywho, it's fine. We're just chit-chatting anyway. But yeah, so like, okay, so I guess my example was kind of subpar because in that particular context, obviously the reason why that game is less good is because people who don't actually care about the quality of the game are in charge of making decisions, right? But like,
I think I should also mention, for communities, you have to be careful. Fans. For the fans, you have to be careful because you have to have the fans that are dedicated to making something of quality rather than something that's just preferable to them.
Well, because the thing is that, and I'm thinking about it, right? I don't know if you took any project management courses when you were at Cogswell, but I did, and I didn't learn much. But one of the things that I did learn
God, I
is
hated
that projects have three parts to them, right? Budget, scope, and time. And I think about it, and it's like when you have a fan project, all three of those have question marks in them. Because it's not actually... Because I talked before about how longevity should be on that list. In this particular context, where it's like people volunteering their work towards a project, you suddenly have a new resource that you get to just cram into everything else, which is passion.
But it's also interesting because budget, it's like they're not being like a company would be like taxed on certain stuff. There's like certain holdings or reductions that would be put on like a company that just don't exist for like fans.
Well, because like you don't, like if a fan is volunteering, like a really good example was Mother 3, the Earthbound 2, which never got translated into English. That's a really great example where it was a team of like 4 people. I think they spent like 6 years fully translating every single line of dialogue in Mother 2, or sorry, in Earthbound 2, which was enormous, by the way. It was an enormous task. Never saw a cent of anything because they were just doing it because they were passionate. They loved...
Well, and that's the thing. They didn't have to make money off of it. There's also that, right?
Because they're fans. They're just doing it because it's a project about something that they care about. Whereas...
Like, that's not their paycheck. That's not, like... They don't have someone bearing down on them saying you have to do this in a certain time, in, like, a certain, like... whatever, right? They're allowed...
And that's what I'm talking about. The time, budget, and scope, all 3 of those, instead of you actually needing to give numbers to them, you just replace those numbers with how passionate are you? Question mark. Yeah. And you think of that, and I'm realizing now as I'm saying this, I'm obviously not the first person to have realized this, because do you remember what Bethesda tried to do? I want to say it was like 6 years ago. They tried to monetize mods for Skyrim.
Oh, like pay people to make mods?
Don't pay people to make mods. The mods were already made, and then Bethesda was going to be like, by the way, if you want access to these mods, you have to pay
for
us.
Mods.
Yeah, you have to pay us to get mods that were previously free that we didn't have to spend any time on.
Yeah, but that's not their work, so that just feels real scummy.
Well, the thing was that Bethesda tried to argue, we made the game.
Yeah.
Like, essentially, they were arguing that at that point, Skyrim was a platform that other people were building on top of, which normally a platform gets paid in that process. And the thing is that, like, Bethesda was extremely infamous, even during the height of their popularity, during, like, the Skyrim era and stuff like that. They were still extremely well known for making really low-quality games on a technical level, right? Glitches and bad physics and bad textures just all over the place, right? Because they make games that are way too big and they don't have the time or, resources to properly make sure that the games are okay. In this context, fans, which are an infinite amount of fans, because it's Skyrim, right, are spending their free time unpaid to increase the overall quality of the game. And it's like, if you're a soul-sucking business type who has no, conscience at all, you look at that and it's like, oh, free labor. And now I think about that, and it's like, not obviously that's scummy. That's incredibly scummy. But I'm realizing that a lot of the games industry is encouraging that sort of behavior. Because if someone is passionate about something, they should make it, right? That's part of what I truly believe to be the human experience. The idea of, like, if you have a passion, pursue it, right? You don't even need to pursue it to its logical conclusion. You just need to pursue it until you don't have a passion for it anymore. But, like, like a good example, because, I'm, in theory, a game designer, right? But all the game design jobs that I apply to are like, oh, did you ship a game? How many game jams have you participated in?
Yeah.
They're taking the passion and making it a requirement to have this level of passion, where it's like, I'm obviously extremely passionate about video games, but because I don't have the time or wherewithal to, you know, do game jams constantly and make like an enormous portfolio of things that I have made, I am obviously less desirable than someone who is willing to spend all their free time making games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of like,
and I'm not disparaging that person,
right?
by the way. I'm disparaging the company that requires you to be that person. But yes, sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah, but I was saying it's kind of like as the wind blows, right? It's not like there's really no pressure onto it. It's just like
which
the
is why
fact
nothing's
that
getting done.
I can't
be real with you about As the Wind Blows? I think you should have a serious conversation with Lawrence about transitioning As the Wind Blows into some sort of a webcomic or something. Not like killing the project, like putting the video game on the back burner and transitioning to something that the two of you can do. Like if he was the artist and you were the writer, you would actually be able to get something
that's more
done.
Feasible right now, right? Because like Grant
what are you
has like no
what
time.
Are you planning on doing, Saba? I'm not working on it anymore. I work a full-time job. Grant works a full-time job and also he hates programming. So it's like I don't know. I think that keeping the project as a video game is not a good idea. I think that you guys should transition to a like 5-panel vertical webcomic that you come out with a new issue every like 2 to 3 months or something. You know what I mean?
It's certainly interesting because on one hand, it's like I think you are pushing because you want to see something out of this, which I think is like,
well, I mean,
nice in its own right. Yes, because of like, of course I do want it, right? It's like maybe it's where this like patience
does it
comes.
Need
like,
to be a video game, Saba? Does this story that you're telling with?
I mean, we've kind of designed around it, though, right?
No, you have designed a story. There's mechanics, yes, but it's not necessary to have it be. You know, it's not like the video game is largely incidental. This game is not like As the Wind Blows is not interesting because of its mechanics. It's interesting because of the characters and story that you've created.
Yeah.
So yes, you could transition it very easily into a webcomic.
Well, maybe it's just I'm more in the realm of understanding how it works because, you know, we had like a bit of a pathway for this, and maybe once again, right, I'm not in the engineering side.
But there was no one there to walk that pathway. That's what I'm saying.
No, and that's kind of what I was saying in terms of like there wasn't really that much pressure for like anything to be overwhelmingly done because I know everyone else was like working on it. But this remember, I'm trying to link this back to our initial topic of like it's become a requirement, right?
Right, yeah.
And I'm kind of being like, look, even like casually with like no pressure, like it's already hard enough as it is to make a game.
Right.
It's kind of what I'm saying. That's what I wanted to talk about before we tangented onto this other stuff. Which, you know what, maybe I feel like it's interesting because didn't Grant get the degree in engineering?
Yeah, but engineering sucks. It's hard and it's hard and it's annoying. It's not even remotely fun. And we knew that already. Like, we knew that was going to be the case, but also whatever.
Okay.
I'm realizing I have these guys digging in the wrong spots perfectly. There you go.
But yeah, I can talk to Lauren because it's just, I don't know. It feels like at this moment.
Like, I know that there was obviously the very bad scenario that happened with people being like, oh, consent or whatever, but which is
incredibly stupid because Lawrence also sent me a picture of a post of someone else doing the exact same thing, and no one said a thing. I'm like, what kind of?
It's just whoever gave it attention, you know. That's how things work.
Yeah.
But my thing was that isn't that like one of his most popular posts?
I'm not sure. Maybe one of the most I don't keep up with his posts and stuff like that. So
I think you should talk
reasonable.
to. I think you should very sincerely talk to Lawrence about maybe transitioning as the wind blows to being a web comic. By the way, the name also attributes itself to being a web comic a lot more than a video game, so that works. People will recognize it and be like, "Oh, that's a story. I get that." But anyway, I think you should do that, and then when it comes down to it, when you guys need to like sit down and figure out what is this episode of the webcomic gonna be about, it's like super easy, you know. Just make it like, oh, it's
because it's just an artist and writer now, right?
Well,
You take it out,
and just
all
make
this
sure
other stuff.
that you keep everything character driven. That's all you need. Because your characters are strong. You need to make sure that they have like characters don't necessarily need to be quirky per se. They need to have quirks though.
It just needs to be compelling in its own right.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
That's what people find compelling, is the idea of people having their own little isms, you know.
I mean, I'm always maybe down to like talk about stuff with him, though. I'm still I'm just pessimistic on the fact that like whether Lawrence would even be willing, because that takes a ton. Like webcomic is a thing that some people are just like you have to be somewhat fully dedicated to, and I'm like, I don't think he would be even. I don't think he would be interested.
I'm gonna ask you, Saba, what's the
time.
alternative?
Well, no, I'm definitely gonna
You don't
do
like
it.
when I
I'm
say
just pessimistic.
when I say transition the project into a webcomic, I don't mean kill the video game. I mean put the video game on the back burner and maybe start working on a webcomic, since you have the personnel to do that. you know,
because out of everyone, no, and I get what you mean by like the if you were to do the game or whatever, the engineering side doesn't exist. But since you have the artistic side,
you have an artist and you have a writer, you're totally fine.
Hopefully free. Yeah, you can go that. And I'm like, I get it. I'm just like, I'm hoping. Once again, I'm just saying, like, I think that's a decent idea. I'm just like, right now, it's funny because I'm usually the optimist. I'm a bit pessimistic whether or not, like, Lawrence will end up saying yes. But I'm willing to try. And
it's really funny because it's like, I know webcomics take a lot of effort. That's not questionable. Webcomics take an enormous amount of effort to get off the ground. It's an enormously lesser amount of effort than making a video game.
No, true. And you know what? Maybe it is just a thing of because a lot of thing with webcomics is that some are just like, it feels like it continues forever because it's kind of like they are actually making up the story as they go along. There's always the option of like making something and you're like, this is the start, this is the end. I don't care how much the fans want like more of the story, like that's what the story is. Which is always like an option.
Sure. Just make sure that you don't end up doing something where it's like one webcomic per day. No,
that's like way too hard. No, it would have to be like
I'm saying like in the context of the game, because remember how the game takes place over the course of a week? I'm saying make sure you don't have like one webcomic per day, because then that's like too fast.
Oh, you're like the chapter is like one day.
Yeah, I was about to say earlier in this conversation, I said maybe release a webcomic once every 2 to 3 months.
3 months, okay. No, I can talk to him. Yeah, you probably definitely have a bit more of an understanding than of like time scope stuff, but
it is my job.
I'll probably figure it out.
Or rather, I want it to be my job. Look at him.
I don't mind.
He's so ugly.
Oh,
he got the big lips.
Not his fault.
He got the bigger lips. So
in that case, to kind of discuss, I guess since I have you right now.
Great. I look forward to this conversation.
Do you think it should be like what the game is, or do you think it should be? No. I'm saying like the webcomic being what the game is.
I think
or do you think it should be
what you should
tangential?
do is that you should stick with the concept of a girl comes back to her seaside hometown after being away for a really long time, and she's estranged from pretty much everybody from her like previous life in that town. And the webcomic pursues the trials and tribulations of multiple individuals within this storyline, exploring what it means to like reconnect with people that you haven't talked to in a while.
Okay, because
resolving conflicts.
it technically.
So on
Okay,
and so
yeah,
forth.
because it makes more sense to establish what the story is rather than going into like this tangential stuff of like, oh, imagine like
you would have to
flashbacks
you would
or
have
memories
to
of each
start you would
character.
have to start with at least one or two like chapters of the or issues of the webcomic where the what's her face Aki dying is not established as a thing. That should be its own webcomic, like entirely of like the event. It's like a flashback webcomic where it's like, oh, what happened, and then it's like, you know, explaining that. Like the first episode, like the first chapter of the webcomic should legitimately just be like Alana pulling up in a taxi, getting off, she gets greeted by her parents or whatever, and then it's like this whole thing where it's like, you know, it explains the concept of like, oh, this is, you know, this, it's Christmas, blah blah blah, welcome back, and then it's, you know, hard cut to her turning around at the top of a hill, looking out over the entire town, and she just looks tired, like she's like not looking forward to the upcoming week, you know. Something along those lines.
So, okay, I've noted that, as well as, like, I feel like something that could work is that without expressly, as you said, saying that this tragedy has befallen, I feel like we could have it where you kind of have these, like, memories appearing of, like, the good times. Like, so you can have her, let's say, on a train or whatever, right, looking out into the snowy landscape, and then it flashbacks to like a memory or something, but then like the story continues, right? So you include this element.
I think that you should spend a decently long time with Lawrence talking about what the story should be, because like if I were doing it, once again, you know me, I'm very like systematic with a lot of this stuff. If I was writing for this, I would definitely have it be something along the lines of like, there'd be 2 episodes of modern day, quote unquote, during Christmas week or whatever, and then the third chapter, every third chapter would be a flashback of, you know, time before Alana left, before the mudslide, before all that jazz, and it was just, you know, the good times, you know, exactly what you're talking about with the memories and stuff like that.
This is interesting. But yes, you continue. Finish.
The idea of like, you use these to like sprinkle in the idea of like, man, things used to be really good, and now I'm trying to get them to be good again. And then, you know, there would be the, you know, quote unquote climax of the narrative. Did you ever watch the movie Memento?
Maybe.
Okay, cool. Once again, you don't know movies.
Hold on.
You think you know movies. You do not know movies.
Seconds.
Fuck it, it's one of the most famous movies of all time.
Oh, is that the thing where he forgets and then he writes this stuff on his phone? Okay, I haven't watched it, but I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
Cool.
That's
A big part of what happens in Memento that's really cool is that there are the scenes flip back and forth between being in color and being in black and white. The entire movie is being told in 2 directions simultaneously, where they cross at the end of the movie. So the colored scenes are happening in real time, and they take place after the climax, right? So it's the aftermath of the climax of what happens in the movie, whereas all of the black and white scenes have been
in like the past.
Imagine the climax is the middle of the movie, obviously, right? Everything to the right of the climax is in color. Everything to the left of the climax is in black and white. It is the present versus the past.
The climax.
Right?
Yes,
that makes sense. You understand that. Now chop every single black and white scene and put them in reverse order. So the first scene, the first black and white scene of the movie is right before the climax.
And then we're going back to the beginning.
And then you go backwards further and further with each black and white scene, because each black and white scene explains the context for what's happening in the colored scene and what's happening in, or what happened in the previous black and white scene, like why that happened, right? Not only is it brilliant filmmaking, it meshes very well with the storytelling and all that jazz. That's the idea. The reason I bring this up is that I think you should do something similar if you do end up doing a webcomic. You should do something similar where it's these flashback chapters of these are the good times, and they don't necessarily need to be perfect. You know, sometimes people can argue, and it's about, you know, happier days. But then there is a climax in the story where suddenly Aki of the present and Aki of the past have to face the fact that once again a random mudslide that, you know, no one could have necessarily predicted killed her best friend. And that's like the big chapter. And that would be like, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just saying, like, arbitrarily, like 10 out of 20. You know what? Fuck it. Make 25.
Okay.
Make 25 volumes over the course of like 7 years or whatever. So that way you can be like, bam, Christmas. Ain't that delightful?
Christmas. Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting and I think, of course, Lawrence and I, if we actually were to talk about, like, both of us actually read webtoons. So, like, our understanding of it, like, we should be able to, like, hash stuff out, but, like, definitely being able to hear people's, like perspectives on it, like, I think is useful as well. So that's why I was like, Zach, just tell me what you think, and then I will consider it amongst the possibilities of other stuff. Because who knows, maybe sometimes you need a little bit of that systematic approach to stuff.
I often, when I design things, I often put them in this initial, like, rigid structure, because then I don't have to focus on the overall planning of the thing, because it already has a structure to fill. It already has a mold. It's just up to me to figure out what kind of cake I want in each mold. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's why I do this sort of thing. But anywho, yeah, there you go.
Definitely.
That's what I think. I think you should transition your video game into a webcomic, because not only do I think it would act better in a webcomic, but also that's what you have access to. So, I want to, you know what? Well, I mean, you obviously, if you have things to say, you can keep saying them. But I want to go back. I want to look at that guy who came in and was like, hey, I want to shoot up my school or whatever, and I want to see if that person's like a real person.
My friend or someone in my friend said a kid that they know in class wants to do that.
Probably like a little kid, right? Let's see.
I don't know.
They never streamed or anything like that, so they're clearly just like a random person.
Why isn't this saving this text document?
Why? This guy, QWERTY Texture, the OG. I can't really tell what this says. It's an eyeball with a 5. I think that means that they've only ever watched 5 people, or maybe they've only ever had, like, their grand total is 5 viewers. That's so weird. And his account was created December 31st, 2021. So it was New Year's of last year. That's so weird. And also, it was clearly a real person, because then they went darn.
Yeah. Though that seems a little suspicious in terms of, like, what do you mean darn? Like, what were you trying to do?
I think they wanted to have a really awkward conversation with random people on the internet about how someone at their school wants to shoot up the school, you know? I think that was the thing.
Please, sir.
Let's see. Let's see. You know what? Let's see if they're still following. Yeah, they're still following. Queen Desi's still following. ZayXMD is still following. Yeah, I don't know. These random people that just show up, and also the fact that that guy showed up like within a minute,
like 3 seconds. Yeah, it was
like a little strange, right?
I mean, I don't know. It could just be coincidence, you know, and that kind of stuff. It appears, and whoever was looking may have just been like, okay, I'll just click on that.
I don't know,
but
because they weren't following before, so how would they know that I just started, right? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, well, we got like 4 minutes left. Let's wrap this up.
is there anything else to like the sequel or whatever to this?
What do you mean?
Story-wise? Like, did we get...
We're not done.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not done. So the prequel, I think you mean epilogue. Yeah,
You're
epilogue.
right. I said sequel.
You said sequel, which
But epilogue is better.
It makes sense. It's fine. Because when you said sequel, I was like, "There's no Pikmin 4." People have been asking for Pikmin 4 for a long time. The Pikmin series is really unfortunate because each game is really good. Like, all 3 Pikmin games are really good. At least I'm told that the first 2 are. I really love Pikmin 3, obviously. But they sell like dog shit every time.
Which is interesting, right? Because they are beloved.
They are beloved. And I think that's by a certain subsect of people, you know? But anywho, you know, it was a really fun conversation that I got to have today, because today was like a half day, right? So we get 2 breaks during training. Technically, we still have 2 15-minute breaks when we get on to like live employment or whatever. But, you know, we were told that most people end up working through their breaks and then they just take an hour of lunch instead. They take like their 30-minute lunch and then both 15-minute breaks in a row. So they essentially work 4 hours, hour break, and then 4 hours again, you know? But anywho, or 3.5 hours. Anywho, one of the women that I work with, she's like this older woman. She's like mid-50s or whatever. Her name's Sharon. Me and her, I was just kind of on my phone, and she was watching the TV that was in the cafeteria. And there's like this really obnoxious guy. He does like a talk show, but everybody in the DCSC is like a middle-aged black woman, so they all watch this show. And the guy says something crazy. Well, he said something along the lines of, they had like a picture of some black celebrity, and he goes like, "Damn, girl, how much do you weigh? You need to watch your figure." And everybody in the audience goes, "Ooh," you know what I mean? And
yeah.
I look up from my phone and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I look at Miss Sharon, and she gives me the same look, like, "You don't ask that." Like, even if it's like, you know, gender equality, whatever, you don't ask that. Period.
Nice. It's nice not to ask about.
You just don't do that. And I remember, and I told the story to Miss Sharon, because Miss Sharon was like, she looked at me and she laughed, and she was like, "You sound like someone who has asked a woman her weight before." And I was about to tell her the rotund story, and instead what I ended up doing was that I talked about my ex, because I don't think you ever met her, but Malia was like 6'2", 6'3". She was really tall, and she was constantly concerned about her weight, because Malia weighed like 230 pounds or whatever. She was not fat. She was just large. You know what I mean? She was a large human being.
Tall, yeah.
And that was the sort of thing where I'm telling this to Miss Sharon, and Miss Sharon just starts laughing hysterically, because she's like, "My daughter's the exact same way. My daughter is like 4'5", like minuscule, like a tiny, tiny human being." And she's like, "Yeah, my daughter keeps complaining all the time because she's so skinny. She's like, I need to weigh more." When in actuality, she has like totally fine body proportions. She's like
small.
She's just a small person, but because the number on the scale is small and she looks stuff up online, it's like, "Oh, I'm underweight." And it's like, "No, you're actually perfect. You're actually totally fine." And I don't know. It was just funny because like me and this 50-year-old woman who I've only known for 2 weeks were just belly laughing, because it's like, man, having body types are weird.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that stream, that was fun. I thought this was good. I don't know if the video camera is going to fuck with me as much as I think it might.
To look at it.
Well, because it's like,
it's been amusing looking at your face as you like respond delayed.
Well, and that's what, and I guess that's kind of the thing, right? Because if you weren't listening to me on Discord and you were listening through the stream, it would be in real time. Where it's just like, I've been thinking about this for a long time, and like a big part of my brand of comedy is my facial expressions and how, you know, much I move around and stuff like that. That does not get conveyed if you don't have video. And so it's like, on one hand, I think that you saw the lights go off. On one hand, I think that this is actually a really effective thing to have. On the other hand, I am really self-conscious about having my video camera up all the time.
Yeah, I could feel it. I would definitely say probably for you, that seems reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just like...
I'm probably too boring. People don't need to see my facial expressions.
Once again, you're a girl, so like you'll probably have people...
Well, thank you.
Like, I think that if you started streaming, you would more than double my follower count in half the time. But the problem would be that everybody in your chat would be making like rape jokes. And I don't think you want that.
But I was about to say though, like another thing that you were like a reason that you'd get higher is also because I would probably just wouldn't be playing as many games.
You know what? That's a good point.
Normally.
You would probably stick to something and play it over a long period of time. You know, developing an audience. You know,
maybe we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't have much to work with to begin with anyway. But
that's true.
Regardless.
That's true. So. You're not very talented.
Once again, seeing your face, like it's delayed, but I see like your body stuff. It is pretty funny, but that's also because I know you, so
you
it is pretty amusing to.
It's been fucking 2 years.
Not for 4 years.
You don't know me. It's been 2 years. You didn't even know how long my hair was before today. You don't know me.
I didn't know how long your hair was before.
You know what? And that's a really good point because last time you saw me, I was still doing the whole goatee thing. I actually only recently got rid of the goatee thing. Huh?
Your hair was long then too. Obviously, this is like very.
This
very
is like
longer,
really long.
But...
Like this hair is definitely way longer than I would. I like having long hair, but I liked my hair when I had like the coif, like lion's mane sort of thing. Now it's just poofy. Now I look like. Have you ever seen Lost before? The TV show Lost.
Yes.
You remember? I think his name was Hurley.
Yes.
I do know what I'm talking about, where it's like his crazy big hair.
Yes, I think maybe your hair is just too thick. Like, so if you were to like go to someone, or maybe like the length does matter. I don't know. If you go to a barber, you're like, okay, so this is how my hair looked like, and you need a picture, dude. You're like, if you have a picture of when it looked nicest, and you're like, this is what I want. I think they may be able to recreate it.
I'm desperately. I know you already know what Hurley looks like, but I'm just trying to post a picture of what he looks like, and it's like, apparently every image of this man is so enormous that Discord can't handle it.
Okay,
there you
so
go.
They're just all
I finally got one. There you go.
Yeah.
Right,
Do
but
you
that
have
that's
curly
what
hair?
like that's what my
wavy hair?
What?
You have like naturally wavy hair?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. That'll do it. Is your lion's mane-ish more straight-ish?
No, because like the thing is that when my hair was in the really good lion's mane formation, it was still wavy, but the natural waviness of my hair made it, bow out in a really nice way. Whereas like now, my hair is so long that it does fucking anime drill hair. It's crazy. Like I don't have pigtails or anything like that, but I do have like, you can't see it now because I've been keeping it back with effectively a headband. But I'll get off like if I don't use shampoo in the morning or whatever, when I get to work, I just have like giant coils, and it looks ridiculous.
That's pretty funny.
Or at least I think
the
it looks
girls would
ridiculous.
be jealous. The girls would be jealous.
I've actually had multiple female family members say that they hate me for my hair now.
Yeah, there you go. I knew it.
And I'm like, I don't understand because I've never done anything with hair before. Apparently, I have nice hair, and that's great. I don't know what to do with it. Like, I've had my sister has, come out and said like, oh yeah, you need to use like this product and that product and like this oil and that oil. And I'm like, I'm not doing all that. I have 30 minutes to get out the door in the morning for work. You know what I mean? I'm not doing that.
You feel like I'm not waking up at 2 hours earlier just to...
I'm about to say, I wake up at 6:10 already. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not waking up earlier than that. Who's up earlier than 6:10? Ghosts.
Ghosts.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Or they go back to bed at whatever time.
Well, they go back to bed at sunrise. You're up at 7 p.m. That's before you go to bed. Ghosts are up at 4 a.m. That's before they go to bed.
I like how you know their schedule.
Well, when you stay up late like I do, or used to at least.
You seen them?
Yeah.
Okay.
You talk
nice?
to
You
talk
saying
to
hello?
ghosts on on occasion. You can't really understand them, But it's kind of like, it's kind of like when you go to a supermarket and there's like just a Spanish dude who's just there. He doesn't speak English. You don't speak Spanish. But, you're both just chill. That's kind of how it is with Ghosts.
You're vibing next to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Anywho, this whole diatribe was unnecessary, but I'll see you tomorrow. Also, I want you to start thinking, try to remember and start thinking ahead of time of Forgotten City, because I was thinking about it again, and we might need like an extra 30 minutes, maybe. Like we might need 4 hours, 30 minutes, but I think you can finish Forgotten City on Sunday.
I mean, I can stay a little bit longer. It'll just be unfortunate that Lawrence probably won't see any of that. So maybe we could just be like, yo, if you're feeling up to it, just chill in the
He'll be there on Sunday.
Did he? I thought he said this whole weekend he's not coming.
He said today and tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Never mind. We're fine then. Yeah, I don't mind maybe staying a little bit more as long as we're not doing anything.
To be honest, but
yeah. I should also mention to you next week. I believe I'm doing something on Saturday because it's like close to Mother's Day. Did you want to like take any of those days off, by the way?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Well, I mean, we don't really celebrate Mother's Day. I hate my mother, but that's a joke mostly.
She exists.
But we don't really do anything for Mother's Day. Obviously, if you're doing something for Mother's Day, that's totally fine. What would we be doing anyway? We'd be doing Wonderful 101. And I think you're okay.
So, yeah,
I think you're okay.
Fine, yeah.
Like, Wonderful 101 isn't really your speed. I still want you to see it, but I don't really like that. That's not really a you game. You know what I mean?
No, sure. Yeah, I like being aware of like all games. You've shown me many of games, and I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So,
all right, cool. We're done.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna double check to see if my nephew killed himself while I was streaming.
Okay, got it.
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yep. See you tomorrow.
Good night.
Bye.
And good night, stream.